be there. Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Brooke Lopez coming back. I mean, and I love the culture around this team. They're just there. They're the most connected. Them and the Phoenix Suns are the most connected teams in the NBA, in my opinion. That's my list, 5-1. What do you think, Legs?
Solid. Don't hate it whatsoever. Don't hate it. In fact, I probably have 4 of the same 5. I would add one different one and maybe flip the order a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go number 5 for me first. And I know this is going to be a bit of a reach, and they could jump quickly, actually. I'm going to include the Warriors in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
including Golden State at 5.
By the way, knock the Heat out and put Golden State in there.
I would probably knock the Celtics out.
Oh.
Instead of the Heat.
Even with Willie, if Time Lord comes back?
I would keep the Heat. Listen, Boston's going to have their hands full early on.
Early.
Okay?
Yes.
So, I mean, there's no certainty they're going to make a deep run when you got to deal with that right off the bat. So,
but if they do, if they get by their first round matchup,
and then they get him back probably middle of the second round, it sounds like. Look, now it's a different conversation. And actually, if they play a tough first round against Brooklyn and they survive that, and then they get Williams back, man, that could be an impetus. Who knows, right? But I'm going to go with the Golden State Warriors, I think, at 5. I would put the Heat at 4. I like that for all the reasons that you said. I think Jimmy Butler's got a lot of pressure on him. He can't have stretches of games where he's passive and he's more of a playmaker. They need him to be that raw scorer that every night is going out there 20 to 25. And you know you can pencil it in. Sometimes he gets passive for long stretches in games, and I don't know that they've got other guys I trust in those situations to carry them offensively. I completely agree with Memphis at number 3. It's not a mirage what we've seen with this team. You wonder, you watch them, you're so young, and you go, okay, are they really ready to take that kind of step? And all they do is continue to emphatically say yes with everything that they do.
If you're 21-2 down the stretch of a season without your best player, there's a good argument to be made that they're actually just the best team in basketball.
Right, and it's the stylistically, they share it, they defend, they can beat you from the three-point line, which is modern basketball, but they can also beat you with great individual offensive players. Now we get down to the top 2. Jay and I agree on who those two teams are. I would probably flip them, though. I just think Phoenix has been head and shoulders above every team in the league this year. They've been so good start to finish. They have, obviously, a chip on their shoulder because they've got unfinished business. Milwaukee does not. Milwaukee got it across the finish line a year ago. I think the Phoenix Suns have the greatest role definition of any team in the league. Guys stay in their lane. They do not do anything more than they're capable of. Elite defensive team. And I think, like I said, they are so hungry because of what they stood there and watched last year with the team celebrate against them in the finals. I just think when you're that good all year and you're that much better than the rest of the league, consistently start to finish, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you can get this thing done.
Those role players, by the way, you're right. And no one does more than they're capable of, Key. But all those role players are capable of more, and yet they still do just what you need them to do. That's like a beautiful team to watch.
By the way, I am upset. I didn't get the guy with the deep voice with the numbers that you got.
Yeah.
Why didn't I get that?
Because your name's not on the show.
Oh, I got
so,
you.
So
Legs. Letter?
Maybe soon.
Number 5.
Maybe I don't
There you
know.
go.
Number 4.
Legs.
Number 3. Number 2. Number 1.
There we go.
So Legs.
A little bit late, but I got it. That's okay.
Another one.
What's
So
up, Keith?
Legs, the Sixers.
Oh, man.
The Sixers and that experiment that they're going through right now with James Harden, that's not gonna crack the top 5, huh?
Not going to crack the top 5, and I hate to say this, man, but I think they're in serious trouble in the first round. James Harden has more pressure on him by a mile than any other player in the postseason. Because, look, he's had failings in the postseason before in big moments, okay? Well, now you look at what Philadelphia went through this year, what they just gave up, the number 1 overall pick in the draft, the guy that was a 2-time All-Star. Now, listen, he had a lot of issues, and he came up small last year against Atlanta in the playoffs, but Ben Simmons still was the number 1 pick. Your franchise went through, a period of time where they were a laughing stock to get guys like that. You gave them up to get James Harden. Daryl Morey went all in. He waited 2/3 of an NBA season without replacing an All-Star to get this specific player for this specific run, and I think they're in serious trouble because he has been so inconsistent, and he just looks like he's lost a little bit physically. Key, I'm actually worried they don't survive the first round against Toronto, who is so confident when they play the Philadelphia 76ers. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Toronto Raptors have the best record in the NBA over the last month.
Yes.
So they're playing great.
And Philly will not have Matisse Thybulle because he's not vaccinated.
Cannot go
so
across the
play,
border.
Yes,
right.
and play in Toronto. That's why I said when this trade went down at the beginning of the season, Legs, I said, look, Doc Rivers is in hot water here. Because not only do you have to activate James Harden, but there are always questions around how he handled the Clipper situation when they were up 3-1. They lost that. Paul George and Kawhi being like, you're not our guy, not fighting for you, getting him out of L.A. And then when you add this to the equation, if you got Joel Embiid talking about, I don't understand strategy-wise, why are we doing this? If this is the way Doc Rivers is handling a lot of the media, kind of like, oh, you guys don't play, how'd you know? It just seems like the pressure is coming his direction while I watch Mike D'Antoni waiting in the wings.
Conspicuously absent from all this talk are the Brooklyn Nets, who were mopping the floor with the eventual champs last year in the playoffs without James Harden, and then without Kyrie, KD still almost beat them. Where are we with the Nets, Legs?
This team is listen, they're so porous defensively that it's hard to wrap your head around a team that flat out cannot string together 5-6 stops at an important time. And why is that so critical in the playoffs? Because that's how you dig out of an 8-point deficit in the fourth quarter, right? And they're going to be in that situation. You've got to stop people to give yourself a chance. And also to be able to hold a lead in a playoff game. You've got to be able to stop people to maintain that. And look, obviously, with those two players coming out, right, these guys are flamethrowers. And they absolutely embrace pressure. Is anybody going to be absolutely shocked if the Brooklyn Nets ended up in the NBA Finals? I don't think so. So I'm not going to rule it out, but I just don't think on the season that they had and as all over the place as it's been, I'm not going to go ahead and just thrust them into the category because they've got to go prove it. Now, look, if they look great in the first round, all right, they get through the play-in, and then they look great against Boston, I might completely change my tune, but we have to see it first.
Could Ben Simmons playing 15 to 20 minutes a game change them defensively enough?
Oh, no question about it because of what he can do guarding 5 different positions. And he also, the other thing he would do, even in that limited time, he creates pace for role players.
Open threes for more than anybody he creates for teammates.
Spoon feeds guys like Nick Claxton. I mean, that's what you need a guy like Ben Simmons for, but more importantly, obviously, is the other end. And then, hey, 15 minutes could be perfect because then you get him off the floor, like in the last 5, if it's close, because you don't have to worry about him going to the line.
That's Tim Legler giving the Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Thanks, Legs. Jay's Round Ball Rankings are brought to you by Dell for your small business needs. Call Dell Technologies Advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. A win that is being compared to some of the greatest wins of all time. That's next. Keyshawn J. Will and Max on ESPN Radio and Sirius XM Channel 80.
Want to produce the show? Go to Key J and Max on Twitter and choose your own adventure by voting for our 945 topic.
I'm Keyshawn Johnson, and I officially approve this message.
This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? Keep your engine at its best with clean oil from Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic. Got an older vehicle? Use Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic High Mileage. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $35.99. Get what you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,000 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
From installing a smart garage door opener, to installing a bathroom faucet, to removing a tree, the Home Depot believes you can do anything, especially the things we have how-to guides for. Visit HomeDepot.com for thousands of tips, workshops, and ideas for projects, big and small. The Home Depot app, how doers get more done.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your radio home for live and local sports coverage. For the most high school and college sports from right here in our local area, it's the Coach James Hale Show, weekday mornings 7 till 9. Then the ride home is alive and kicking with the afternoon underdogs, covering the gamut of sports. Plus, the radio home for the defending world champion Atlanta Braves. Your local sports station is ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hear that? That's the plumpest, juiciest hot dogs you've ever seen getting their grill on. But we both know what'll make it sound even better. Oh, yeah. It's a Pepsi to go with your hot dog. Because when you're chomping on America's favorite meal, relish, mustard, and onions perfectly blending into a crescendo of flavor, there's only one thing that makes everything about that moment better. A cold, refreshing Pepsi. See what I mean? It's like music to my ears. Hot dogs. Better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Safety is a hot topic, and Emerald Coast Damsel has a variety of local services to educate your employees and beyond. They host realtor safety and warrior workshops and empower hours. You can book them for graduation, bachelorette parties, or other events. Plus, they provide products to keep your kids safe, like storybooks and board games. Give the gift of self-protection and contact Michelle and Rick today, 850-358-2810, or visit their website at emeraldcoastdamsel.com. Independent Damsel Pro for damsel in defense.
In 22, the thing to do is reboot the whole family at That Boot Store. With name brand Western wear for the smallest to the largest Wrangler is available at That Boot Store. Need durable name brand Carhartt work clothes at a price you can afford? Stop by That Boot Store. Next to Billboard Kia on 15th Street. Open Tuesday through Thursday 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday 9 to 5:30. Remember Joe's motto, always keep Jesus in your new year.
Hi, I'm Bobby Likas with today's Car Clinic Minute. We Americans love to measure things, our bank accounts, our wastes, and gas mileage. So how can you get more MPG while fattening your bank account and expanding your waste? When I come back, I'll tell you.
The Car Clinic Minute.
It's Bobby Likas Car Clinic, brought to you locally by Hewitt Tire and Auto.
Call 850-769-7323.
Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
That's 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Here's the real riddle. Which uses more gasoline waiting in drive-through banking and fast food lines? Allowing your car to idle while you pause for the cause? Or turning the engine off and on again? The answer lies in one more measurement. Time. Idling for more than 30 seconds consumes more gas than restarting. Another gas-saving tip? If you turn your engine off and have a fuel-injected car, don't pump the gas pedal on restarting. Carbureted cars hold pedal 1/2 inch until engine runs smoothly. I'm Bobby Likas. Like us, you'll love us.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max. Weekday mornings 5 to 7 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
From A to Z.
Keyshawn, Jay Williams, ESPN Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80. It is time for A to Z, as you just heard. Scotty Scheffler finished off a Tiger Woods-like start to his season with a 3-shot win in the Masters for his first major championship. Scheffler's now won 4 times in his last 6 starts. Not as young as Tiger or McIlroy or whatever, right? When they first burst on the scene, but is he 25, Scheffler?
25.
But he's killing the game right now. Only Tiger has 4 times in a PGA Tour season, including a major and a WGC event. Woods has done it 8 times. Speaking of Tiger, he finished this tournament a 13 over par, but had this reaction to being able to play in his first ever event since last year's devastating car accident. Listen.
Thankful, as I alluded to. I keep saying it, but I am. I really am. I truly am. Just to get to this point and just to be able to play, and not only just to play, but I put up a good first round. You know, I got myself there. I don't quite have the endurance that I would like to have had, but, you know, as of a few weeks ago, I didn't know if I was even playing this event. So to go from that to here.
Well, I hear what he's saying, Jay. What's your biggest takeaway from the Masters?
That Tiger Woods, a 5-time master champion, will never win another major again. In my opinion, I will bet on that. But I don't think I look at that as a failure. Him coming back this weekend was a success story within itself.
You heard him talk about stamina, though. What is his first time back off a major catastrophic accident?
Him making the cut and participating and finishing 42nd is success within itself. And I know his bar will never change. I know he will always strive to be the best. But even after 15 months after a crazy injury, his back leg, seeing him hobble, seeing him on the course, like for me as an athlete, just his mere presence being on the course says what golf needs him to be.
Tiger Woods told Sky Sports.
Never counting him out.
Yeah, I'm with you, Keith.
I'm
I
betting
think
on
he's
him
not
never
done
winning a
winning
major
majors.
again. That's
I
not
think
a bad
he's not
thing.
done winning majors.
Guys, he's walking and playing golf.
Yep.
Just put that into perspective.
No doubt. A huge
It's
win already.
incredible.
But I don't know, there might be more coming.
Okay.
Tiger told Sky Sports that he will play at the Open Championship at St. Andrews in July, but is not committed to the next two majors, the PGA Championship and U.S. Open. Has not committed. In NFL, meantime, free agent tight end Rob Gronkowski, you may have heard of him, continues to make it clear he hasn't decided whether or not he's going to play in 2022. Key, he'll do this just so, you don't have to training camp and all that stuff. I think he'll play. But if he does decide to play, he's only going to play for the Bucs. Gronk was also asked last week on Jimmy Kimmel Live about the Bucs helping to facilitate his collecting a bonus by making sure he was on the field to pass a certain catch threshold. Gronk said he's seen other teams facilitate that, but, and this is a quote, not with the Patriots, though. I mean, they'll probably pull you before you hit the bonus there. Almost immediately, Gronk started to kind of laugh, Key, and said, I shouldn't have said that. What do you think about his comments on the Patriots?
Well, he's probably correct. Bill Belichick and those guys, they give you the incentives, but yet and still, sometimes they don't want guys to get them because it hurts their salary cap. But there's a lot of teams in the league that put your incentives in, and you think, I got a clear chance to make them and hit them. But when you're doing that contract and you're doing that deal, you're not even thinking about the salary cap, how it affects the salary cap down the line. But there are teams. The Jets were a team that allowed you to get them. Bill Parcells allowed you to get your incentives. In Dallas, they allowed you to get them. So just depends on the team you're on.
Key, for the record, I'd just like to note that at the end of the statement, Gronk did say, well, there was a certain player on Tampa Bay that didn't get the benefit. Didn't. He didn't say the player's name, but we all knew who he was talking about.
Is he still on Tampa?
Apparently not.
Yeah, apparently not. It's funny because I get that about the Patriots. It's not like, they're just trying to cheat you out of money or something. In a hard cap league, if that bonus, if that incentive that you hit is going to affect the cap, this is a type of league where you got to get rid of players in order to sign your draft picks. This ain't no soft cap type situation.
That's what make me so salty as a player. Did you watch Drew Holiday last night?
Yeah.
Drew Holiday checked into the Milwaukee Bucks game for all but 6 seconds to get a foul so he can get a check for over $250,000.
Soft cap. Key, why, when you say Parcells, for example, was like, or the Cowboys, they're not worried about that, they just do that. Is that kind of a deal where, like you say, there's no real cap, they'll figure it out if it's important? Why let we all know we'd like to get everyone paid. Sure, you want to see a guy make money. But why wasn't Parcells more concerned about the cap as it related to incentives, do you think?
I don't know, but it's more in the whole grand scheme of things within the flow of the game. They're not going to go out of their way to deliberately get you the touches to get your incentives. But within the flow of the game, they're going to make sure, that you're touching the football, and now you got an opportunity to hit your marks, whatever those marks are. I mean, that's just the way that they've always done things as far as I'm concerned. And as far as Belichick in New England, they manage it differently.
Well, he's the GM too. Maybe that has something to do with it. He's not just the coach; he's the GM.
Well, no, Bill ran the whole thing, though, right?
That's true.
Mike Tannenbaum. Next time we get Mike and we have a conversation with Mike about that, about the way you handle the incentives, because there's likely to be earned, unlikely to be earned. I mean, it just depends on how it's structured within that contract.
You think the Bucs need Gronk to win the Super Bowl?
No, I don't. I think they need a tight end. O.J. Howard is now in Buffalo. He got injured and whatnot, and so he's in Buffalo, signed there as a free agent. Gronk is sitting tight, chilling. So they do need a tight end. A tight end is a quarterback's favorite, best friend, so to speak. And they got to certainly get a tight end that can play.
So my son Zane is one. He can't walk around the house without his binky. Loves his binky. Has to take it everywhere with him. Like, Gronk is Tom Brady's binky. Like, and that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Like, that dude is your safety blanket.
Know what,
Like,
though?
he's giving you 1,400 yards in the last 2 seasons and 13 in total touchdowns. Like, come on. Like, just, it's okay to have a guy that is your go-to target.
See, I thought you meant safety blanket, like it just makes him feel better. The thing about Gronk we shouldn't sleep on, to me, it's not that Brady couldn't win the Super Bowl without him. Gronk makes it a lot easier to me because, put it this way, Bucks are in the Super Bowl. I guarantee you Gronk is catching a touchdown pass.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's 7 points. You got Gronk, you're going to that's 7 points on the board because that dude's on the field. I don't know if another tight end's going to do it. I know for sure Gronk will catch a touchdown pass from Brady, right?
I can't believe I just compared Gronk to my son's binky, but you guys got the reference.
Yes, as long as it's just not like he's an emotional support guy. He can play still.
Jay, you still look like you use a binky from time to time.
I cuddle with it at night when I get cozy.
Am I Jay's binky? Not after you just said that. That's next. Not after. We're not cuddling at night. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the course keeps changing right before your eyes. And in order to maneuver it, you need an expert by your side. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PC and tech solutions you need to help you get out in front and stay ahead of the game. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
The minute you lay your eyes on the all-new Toyota Tundra Capstone, you'll know it was made to make a statement. With its 22-inch dark chrome alloy wheels made for turning heads, carefully crafted two-tone leather trim seats made for pulling up in style, 12-speaker JBL premium audio made for turning up, plus power running boards made for stepping out on the town. The all-new Tundra Capstone, made to make a statement. Toyota, let's go places. JBL is a registered trademark of Harman International Industries, Inc.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mike Greenberg. Greeny.
Bruce Arians is a great guy. Bruce Arians' legacy is all that he did for diversity and inclusion, a major issue in the National Football League. And this is a guy who walked the walk and as well as talked the talk about giving minority coaches opportunities, about giving female coaches opportunities, about doing any number of other things that in the big picture are more important than being a great football coach. But he's not been a great head coach.
Weekday afternoons from 2 till 4, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Monday morning. Mostly sunny today. A nice day with temperatures in the mid-70s. South wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And the water temperature in the Gulf is 70. Partly to mostly cloudy in the low 60s overnight. Light south winds. Light south breeze is Tuesday. Mostly sunny around 78. Mostly cloudy Wednesday. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Offord Tire and Service Center in Callaway. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby. The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey, cheesy, crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously. But as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
I'm Matt Glover with Aero Pest Service, and we are your family-owned and operated pest control company in Bay County since 1977. Now's the time to have us supply our long-lasting custom blend fertilizer that is guaranteed to be the answer your lawn needs in order to stay green and beautiful all summer long. Give us a call today at Aero Pest Service, 850-874-1900. 850-874-1900.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
WGSX Nathan, WTOT, W271DM Mariana. Powered by Pepsi. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Monday morning. Mostly sunny today. A nice day with temperatures in the mid-70s, south wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and the water temperature in the Gulf is 70. Partly to mostly cloudy in the low 60s overnight. Light south winds. Light south breeze is Tuesday. Mostly sunny around 78. Mostly cloudy Wednesday. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Lights, camera, action. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michaels studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good morning and welcome to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It is a beautiful Monday and we have a local legend in here. It'll be 23 years, I believe, coming up on Bay County sidelines.
Well, yeah, it'd be the 23rd season.
23 years. Unbelievable. It's flown by. Dr. Chad Mitchell. Chad, what's going on with you today?
Feeling great. Just trying to get this day started.
Did you have many surgeries last week?
Had a few.
Yeah, I mean, people keeping you busy over here in Bay County, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, especially after COVID.
Yeah. Anything going on for us? I was thinking about soccer. How was it this year, baseball, football? I mean, baseball's still going, but how was the interest this year as far as the local high schools? About the same as usual, or did you see more or less?
No, it's average. It's about the same. Yeah. It's pretty consistent. Depending on the sport, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And with that, we see a lot of ankle sprains, a lot of minor stuff.
Right.
Too, that people are, kids are able to get over quickly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that in addition to, the bigger things like ACLs, ligament tears of the knee, that kind of thing.
Do you ever see older women that hurt their knee and, that, maybe overdid it in the weight room or walking?
Are you kidding? I see older men, too.
You might be seeing one I know. She's really not older, though. She's in pretty good shape. She hurt her knee, and we don't know. I don't know what it is. I said, we got to go see Chad. So if it's not getting better, we'll come see you. I do want to ask you, we were just talking about the injuries and stuff like that. What about COVID? You just said something like it seems like you get more now. Did everybody just didn't come see you during COVID?
Well, yeah, rightfully so. I mean, people were concerned that they were going to catch COVID being in public. And, of course, you're in a doctor's office. You're, sitting in the lobby. And we tried to do things to mitigate that, with the whole mask.
Well, that bodysuit you made me wear that one day. Brian, good morning, Brian. You with us this morning? I'll say hi to you. Yeah, I went in there one time, and everybody else had just a mask on. He made me put on a bodysuit. He says, "No, I know where he hangs out."
Smart doctor. Man, listen at this mess. I'm glad. I need to get my boots, Brian. It's going to be a morning, I can tell.
Noble's the same way now. Noble's make sure it's safe when you come in there. Everything's sprayed down, mask on, everybody's ready to go.
Yeah. Well,
but now the mask
just
over
to be
now?
clear, the masks are over.
Okay, all right, yeah. Make sure we.
Make sure.
I'm glad. I was not a mask guy the whole time anyway.
Either, trust me.
Yeah.
It's funny because we were always told, 3 feet. You know, my training and everything. 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet, and then then it just gets in the media and the politicians get it. Now it's 6 feet, 16 feet, and I get some people did some studies, and that's all good. But in general, if you stay about 3 feet away from people, and if they cough, you kind of walk away. I used to just not breathe when somebody would cough like that I thought was sick. I mean, I went for years without getting sick that way.
Did you hear many of the athletes are great shape, getting sick, I didn't hear any. I mean, they got it. Some of them got it, but they weren't sick.
Some of them did, and it was the rare case that had a myocarditis. There were a couple of cases out there. Dr. Noble and I talked about that. But overall, no. Young, healthy people, didn't die for the most part. I mean, there is a small number and small percentage.
Kind of like the flu. Small number of people in flu die.
Unfortunately, diseases are going to continue in this life. I mean, that's
always
that's
had them, always will.
Right. You can't be fearful of it, but at the same time, we need to at least be smart and use some good common sense, but try to keep living life too.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yep.
Speaking of living life, we had a lot of spring football games. We had Florida State, Auburn, and Brian, I tell you, like I told Brian off the air before we started, Sunday I forget all about the Masters. Completely forgot. I'm like, goodness gracious. And then I found out Tiger, what was he, plus 10 or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, he had a rough weekend, especially Saturday. And you could tell all that walking had wore on him, but
I'm just glad he finished.
Man, there were a lot of positives in his game. Yeah. I mean, there really were. He can still contend. He's got to get, back in shape. I'm sure he's going to be sore for a little while, but
did you
he did
watch
a great job.
Any of the spring football games?
I actually did not.
I saw Clemson.
I watched
the only
nothing
one I saw.
but golf all weekend.
Yeah. The only one I saw was Clemson. I couldn't get Auburn's. I don't know why it went on SEC Network. Maybe it was on SEC Plus or whatever. I just didn't get it, and I actually forgot. When I started looking for it, it probably was over. And then FSU, I did not see that one, but I did see Clemson. I thought Clemson's quarterback is looking a lot better than he did last year. I think Clemson's going to be pretty good. I do. I think they're going to have a bounce-back year. Everybody forgets they were 10-3, but we all think like they had a terrible season.
Right.
They lose 3 games.
And that quarterback has talent.
Yeah. He's got a lot of talent. And they're a talented football team. Dabo's got it rolling over there. I think they're going to be pretty good. They've already came out with I go over this later today if I have time. We came out with the latest top 25 preseason top 25. We already got Chad. They've already come out with the 10 biggest upsets in college football next year. We've got the 10 top traditions in college football. We'll talk about sometime today, hopefully. And we got Coach Jones coming on today at 7:15. Arnold's baseball coach. And Brian, real quick, give us a little rundown of what's going on since my secretary didn't get the job done last night. So what do you got for us today?
Well, let me not get in the middle of that fight that's coming. I'm about to hear some dings on your phone. I will go through some baseball and softball scores from the weekend and Friday. Arnold, and we'll talk to Coach Jones here in a minute, beat Ohio County, Kentucky 7-1. Mosley really put it on Landmark Christian, 16-0.
Go Dolphins! All right,
big win for Coach Hudson there. Great game here. Rutherford 5, North Bay Haven 4. And then in another...
Go back.
Rutherford 5, North Bay Haven 4.
Wow, good job.
And then in another great game against 2 big-time baseball programs. How about Bozeman stepping up and beating Niceville 3-2?
Coach Patton. Good.
Yeah.
That's 1A against one of the biggest schools in Panhandle, and they get it done. They beat Arnold early in the year. They split with Arnold. He's got a chance to do something special this year.
Well, what I like is Bozeman has won a couple of really close games late, and that's always good as you get into the
Get a little conference
postseason. Softball, Arnold 10, Chipley 0. No surprise there. Rick Green always has them going.
Yes, he does.
And then just one other thing, Weewa Hitchka, Bobby Johns getting it done in another sport. They were the 1A Region 1 champions for boys weightlifting. Port St. Joe was second. I got to see some highlights from that, and he's got a good squad there. And so on to state from here.
Hopefully, I was always curious how long it's going to take him to win a state championship. Wherever he's been, he wins the state championship in weightlifting. The old boy at Baker was unbelievable that he'd win state championships, football, weightlifting, everything else. But Bobby's incredible wherever he's been, coaching, football, baseball, track. I don't care what it is. The guy's a winner. He's a class act, and we're lucky to have him in the Florida High School Athletic Association, everything he does there also. Chad, did you get to watch anything at all, any sporting events this weekend? Did you go fishing? What'd you do?
I was taking care of things that I've gotten behind on all weekend. I mean, with everything that's gone on since the hurricane, I'm still catching up stuff from the hurricane. I had my parents I had to help, and just got behind doing life things.
Now you got, well, I don't know if we have time to get into it right now or not, but you did get some insight on Florida football.
Oh yeah, I have a little inside scoop on that I guess you want to talk about it now. You want to wait till later?
I think we have a few minutes.
So anyway, with Florida, they had a big scrimmage this weekend. Of course, their spring game is supposed to be this Thursday at 7:30. That's April 14th for those of you that want the actual date. So Billy Napier, he's been working on penalties, and that was a huge thing that they were working on. Obviously, they're wanting their offense to improve at that and not have a lot of false starts, and I'm sure that hurts the hearts of many Florida fans to hear that. But so his big push is penalties. Also, lately, he's talked about being very aggressive with the transfer portal, and that transfer portal is going to be big, I think, after these spring games when some of these players see where they are, and I think you're going to see some things again. And I think both Harsin at Auburn and Napier at Florida are going to have to really be aggressive with that. But the defense looks really well from my source. The defense in critical situations rose to the occasion. The offense scored a couple of times.
Now, was your buddy officiating the game? Or just watching?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
okay.
He was there officiating.
Yeah, we don't want to leave that out.
Yeah, right. but the inside linebackers look really good. The defense looks really good. Number 21, who I'm assuming is Lorenzo Lingard, looked great. He's a running back. He looked really good against the defense. So, those are kind of a few of the little takeaways from that. The offense is improving, and again, working on penalties. In fact, Billy Napier, I think, at a press conference mentioned that as well. So there's some positive things happening at Florida, and hopefully they get back on track. I'd like to see them back competitive.
Early this morning, I couldn't sleep, and I was reading. I mean, I don't know what time it was, but I got a book on Saban, Making of a Coach, I think is the name of it. But it was back when Billy Napier was on his staff, and they were talking about him, Lance Thompson, all these different coaches. Kevin Steele was on that staff that particular year, and just going over the strength and weakness of those coaches and things like that. It's pretty impressive. Billy Napier, Saban really liked him, and really thinks a lot of him. This guy, I think, is a home run hit for Florida. I want to go back to Florida's defense. If you've ever gone to a Florida game and you sit in the end zone, and this is back when they were pretty doggone good too now. They had Florida speed. We used to call it Florida speed.
Yeah.
But you see a little gap, and you think, they're going to get a play here. And then, boom, out of nowhere comes a linebacker.
Absolutely.
Fills the gap so quick. It's like, where did he come from?
And it's fun to watch that. Well, these two, it's Scooby Williams and Derek Wingo.
Yeah.
They're those kind of players.
And I think you're going to see this more and more with Billy Napier there, because he's recruited at a different level than you've seen in a long time at Florida. I mean, he's a great recruiter, and he learned from the best. He knows he's hired all those analysts They're going to get players in there that can play, that can run. And I'm with you. I do think they got to get some kids. I think the main thing with them is more depth. I think they got good players.
That's exactly
they just have enough of them.
They've got good talent. They just need depth.
Where at Auburn, it's totally different. They got to get some players.
They're like restructuring
they have
the entire
got,
team.
Yeah, they've got to get some players there. We'll talk more about Auburn a little bit. All right, right now, thank you, Doc, for that. Let's talk about some of our great people. We've got so many great, wonderful sponsors. Appreciate it. We had lunch yesterday after church at J. Michael's Restaurant. Went down to Woodlawn Methodist Church, had a great time. And then we go to J. Michael's, and it was an incredible. Place was packed out. You can tell a lot of spring breakers are here, but there's a lot of people in there, a lot of families in there. Great food, best seafood, Cole's beer. This Wednesday, world-famous spaghetti. Hey, if you go to closing, don't forget about Chuck Tucker. Matter of fact, you demand it. I want Chuck Tucker. I go to closing, my money. Hey, Chuck Tucker. I don't want any surprises. South Oak Title and Closing. Chuck Tucker's number one. Not even close. Stevenson Air Conditioning. What about this weather? 1 minute's cold, the next minute's hot. You got Stevenson Air Conditioning. It doesn't matter. They do an incredible job. Any kind of problems, call Debbie anytime, day or night. They'll get out there and solve all issues. They are incredible. Buffalo Rock, one of the best companies around. Support them. They've done so many great things for Dr. Ward, Dr. Mitchell, Bay County School District, you name it. Chad's a pepper. You a pepper.
I'm a pepper.
You are a pepper. Brian's a pepper.
Wouldn't you like to be a pepper, too?
I like it.
We'll be right back. Hopefully we got Arnold Baseball, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Monday morning, mostly sunny today, a nice day with temperatures in the mid-70s, south wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and the water temperature in the Gulf is 70. Partly to mostly cloudy in the low 60s overnight, light south winds. Light south breeze is Tuesday, mostly sunny, around 78. Mostly cloudy Wednesday. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd.
Some people see sports as escapism. I've never once in my life gone to a game to escape. Escape what? I love my wife. I love my job. I love my kids. What am I escaping? If you have to go to sports to escape, maybe that's more on you.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Weekdays 11 to 2, ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Let your spring adventure begin at Bill Byrne Kia. Stop by today to discover why everyone is talking about the award-winning Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 48 months on the purchase of a 2022 Kia Forte, K5, Soul, or Sorrento. Bill Byrne Kia is not only the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, they're the home of the best customer experience anywhere. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillByrdKia.com. We make buying a car easy, and you'll enjoy the way we do business.
Offer from KMF for the purchase of a new 2022 Forte, K5, Soul, and Sorrento with $21.65 per month per 1,000 financed. That's 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Byrne Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 5/2/22.
The Braves are back, and they're on a mission to defend the East, defend the National League pennant, and defend their world title.
Fly ball hit the deep center field, retrieving the strip, at the track, at the wall, she's gone!
Tonight, division rivals clash at Truist Park in Atlanta as Matt Olson, Austin Riley, and the Braves take on the Washington Nationals.
Coverage starts tonight at 5:05. First pitch 6:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
I don't always talk to Alabama fans, but when I do, I ask for large fries. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Brian's with us here today. We got Dr. Chad Mitchell. And now we bring on one of the top baseball coaches. Heck, he did a great job out in the state of California. He's doing it here in the state of Florida. Coach Jones, how you doing this morning?
I'm good, guys. How you doing?
We are outstanding. Let's get into some baseball. Tell us what's happened since the last time we've talked. I know you got a big win. Talk about it.
Well, we hosted a tournament last week, so we played 3 games. We won 2 and lost 1. We beat 2 teams from Kentucky, and lost to a team from Georgia that we knew would be a real tough opponent. So we went 2-1 last week. We beat Mayfield from Kentucky on Monday, 13-1. Eli Blair, our freshman, threw 5 innings to give up 1 hit, and we ended it in the mercy rule of 5 innings. Lost to McIntosh Wednesday night after getting rained out Tuesday. Cooper Moss pitched well. Our defense wasn't amazing, and their pitcher was just really good. He had a true sinker, and it was hard for us to hit. End of the game with the bases loaded, tie run at the plate, but they beat us. They beat us pretty much the whole game. We just had a chance there late and couldn't come up with a hit. And then Friday, got to play an afternoon game as a makeup game in this tournament, and we beat Ohio County from Kentucky, who was a pretty solid team themselves. We were able to beat them 7-1. Ethan Gill getting the win on the mound. So it was a 2-1 week for us. Played pretty well, except for maybe the McIntosh game. Wasn't our best effort, but their pitch had a lot to do with that.
The tournament how did the tournament, did you get a lot of people showing up for it? Was a pretty good turnout? Did you make some money off it?
Yeah, it was a pretty good fundraiser for us. It was kind of a nightmare to run because of the rain and a couple straight days of rain there a little bit, but we were able to get them in and make up a few games on Friday and actually get, I think, pretty much everybody all the games that they were supposed to. It was well attended. A bunch, I think, 6 teams from Kentucky, 3 teams from Georgia, and then ourselves. So it was 10 teams, and all the teams in Kentucky were happy with the weather. I was less happy with the weather, but it ended up working out all right.
Yeah, and you know what you do when you put these on, it helps the beach, it helps Bay County, so that's a good thing. Bring people in here, the type of people we want in here. That's a really good thing. But I want to ask you something. You've been coaching a long time. You coached all over the place. You know, in football, it's hard to get anybody as a freshman to compete. Their body's just not ready for it. Have you had this before in your career where you've had 2 really good freshman pitchers to start on the varsity like that?
Not as pitchers, no. You occasionally get one freshman who comes in who's ready to compete. I've had a freshman shortstop, which is also really rare, but that was a long time ago, almost a lifetime ago. But to get 2 guys that'll come in and compete on the mound that are freshmen, that's the first for me, and I've been doing this for a long time. It's rare to get one, but to have 2 in the same class is, we're very lucky, and the kids are poised and disciplined, and they're ready to compete at that level. It's the stage isn't too big for them at 15 years old or whatever they are right now, and that's a tribute to them and frankly their upbringing. We're really lucky to have them and trying to help them out and get them a little bit better here and there and see what happens.
Yeah, and the reason I asked it, I can't recall 2 on any team up in the Panhandle over the last 20-something years. I could be wrong, maybe Pensacola Catholic somebody, but I just hadn't 2 true freshmen playing like they're doing. Let me ask you this: how are they at the plate? Can they hit the ball pretty well, or they still got a ways to go with that?
Well, Cooper Moss has been hitting the ball really well. He's in our lineup every day when he's not pitching. He usually plays third, sometimes DHs because we're taking it easy on his arm, but he bats in the 5th in our lineup. He's one of our leading hitters. Eli Blair, we are high on his ability to hit in the future. He's working on it this year. We have a real good Warwick Wilmot is a senior at first base ahead of him. But we feel like Eli Blair might be a first baseman in the future for us that can swing the stick some. But most of his at-bats right now are at the JV level. When he's not pitching for varsity, he goes down and plays JV on the other days so he can get some experience there, which is a nice thing to be able to do. So we think, maybe next year both of them be in our lineup and helping our offense. But right now, Cooper Moss he's helping us on the mound and with the bat. So that's even more special.
You got those 2 really good freshman players. How the rest of that freshman class? Is there more talent that are freshmen, or is it just average or pretty good, or what? I mean, those 2 are outstanding. You got enough of them like that?
It's a really good freshman class. For whatever reason, we have Josh Lindsay, who plays second base for us at least half the time on the varsity level. Austin Hendricks got to start in right field, and we'll probably start again in right field he started on Friday, got a couple hits, a couple RBIs. So we got at least 4 that can help us right now from time to time. At least half the time, feel like they play. And there's a couple more that are on JV that we feel like are going to turn into something also. So, we're looking at 6 or 7 freshmen that by the time they're juniors and seniors, we can keep them together and keep them going in the right direction. Like that's a really good class.
Wow. Coach, this is Chad Mitchell. You mentioned earlier that the Georgia team, I think it was, the pitcher had a good sinker. And I'm just curious, what kind of philosophy do you have to help your batters, leading up to like pitchers like that are going to be expected? Is there any certain philosophy that you use to kind of bring your batters along?
Well, there's some people that throw 2-seamers these days and the ball runs in. That's not uncommon, but a true sinker where the ball mostly runs down and a little bit in is it's harder to come by, especially at this level. So it's something that during the game, we're trying to get them to elevate the ball, meaning only swinging balls that are, thigh high or higher and not swinging the ones that are a little bit lower than that because they're going to sink out of the zone. But it's, it was a struggle for us. He also had a really good breaking ball and he threw strikes. So he did a great job. But, the advice is to try and get the balls that he elevates a little bit rather than swing at the ones that start out at the knees. You have no chance against the ones that start at the knees because they're going to sink out of the zone. If you hit it, you're going to beat it right in the ground. So we hit a few ground balls that night because that kid did a great job. So you try and help him, philosophically, but at the end of the day, kid throws really well. It's going to be a long day for your offense.
Hey, Coach, now that this tournament's over, we kind of hit the home stretch of, getting the team on a roll heading into the postseason. And your next 10 days, you've got kind of 4 really key games, some big competition, a big rivalry game with Mosley, and a couple of district games. Kind of talk about this next little stretch of games and how you look at that setting you guys up for the postseason.
Yeah, and they're all on the road, which is something that, as a coach I like because we got to get used to being on the road. I feel like we've been home a little bit, even though we played more games at the sports park than in our own field probably lately. But so we have Niceville on the road Wednesday, really good team, really good competition for us. So we're at Bay, which is a district game on Thursday. And then next week we're at Mosley. I think around here is a pretty big game usually. And then next Thursday we're at South Walton. For the first time we get to see them, only time we get to see them this year. They're also a district team, and they are literally right behind us in the rankings in 4A and in the Florida State rankings. So it's going to be 4 straight road games of challenges, and it'll help us prepare for a district tournament and then hopefully regional tournaments and regional play and things like that as we go forward. But if we can compete here and hold our own, then we'll keep our position as either the 1 or the 2 seed in our district, and we'll go to the district tournament there and take our chances. But we'll certainly be better for the competition. I always like playing good competition, and the next 2-3 weeks are still full of good competition for us before the district stuff starts.
What are y'all ranked right now, Coach? What's your ranking right now?
Well, in the district we're number 1. In the state we're number 14.
Okay.
In 4A, and but South Walton is literally number 15 in 4A, right behind us. So we're neck and neck there. They have a couple more wins than we do, a little bit softer schedule than we have, and so it's just one of those things where we got to keep going. I think really next Thursday when we play them at their place, probably the winner of that will end up being the number 1 seed in the district tournament. All of the things sort of holding their own, but we'll just see how things go.
All
if
right.
we're 1 or 2 in the district tournament, doesn't really, doesn't make that much of a difference other than we get to play a home game if we're the 1 seed. But, we're going to try. So we'll see what we can do.
As far as health-wise, you guys pretty healthy?
Pretty healthy. Knock on wood. Let me find some wood here. Pretty healthy. Colton Dorsey, who has basically been out all year, who was going to be our number 1 pitcher, he's back to swinging the bat. He DH'd on Friday. Got his first at-bat on Wednesday, I think, and then played a full game on Friday. So having him in the lineup will help us some, and I think that makes us as close to 100% healthy as we can be right now. He's still not going to be pitching this year for us, which is unfortunate for us, but and for him, obviously. But pretty healthy other than that, knock on wood.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll talk to you next week. Keep on winning. We love it.
All right, me too. Thank you.
All right, Marlin's doing a great job. Coach Jones, head baseball coach. I tell you what, he's done a great job since he's been there. Unbelievable. Did a great job out in California. We get him here, and I'm really excited what he's talking about how young Arnold is. He got that freshman class is really good. And those two freshman pitchers are unbelievable, man. Moss is something special. He's already committed to Florida. And he's a big old boy. You seen him? He's
I haven't seen
good-looking
him.
boy.
I know who his dad is.
Well, he's a big, good-looking boy, a lot like his mama. A lot like his mama, really good looking. Not the dad.
Yeah, that's fortunate. That's fortunate.
Yeah, thank God he like daddy.
Well, and I wish we had more time with Coach, because what I'm curious about is kind of the development of those young players on the beach and in town. I'm curious how it's set up, if that's a lot of park and rec stuff, if that's middle school stuff, if that's travel ball or something. I'm kind of curious as to that, and maybe how those kids are developing to where they come in and make such an impact.
Well, I tell you, it's like
we're doing something right.
The Dunn is playing professional. His Gary, same thing. He had a kid playing year round, travel ball, you name it, all over the country. Steve does the same thing. Steve worked his boy since he could walk.
It just seems to me
daddies, the youth baseball coach are really good.
It just seems to me we're doing something right at the development level in this area with baseball, and I'd love to know what it is and at least highlight it.
And maybe we can get the football doing it and basketball. Basketball, we're pretty good. All right, I tell you what, right here, 104.3, don't forget now, World Series, we've cranked it up. You can listen to all the Brave games right here. Excited about that. Maybe, who knows, can they win it again? I hope so. And don't forget also, we're one of the sponsors of the Wrestling Against Cancer 7, I think it's called. I think the thing is going to happen April 30th at the Bay County Fairgrounds. And don't forget this afternoon, we got the Underdogs, we got Fine Bomb, we got it all right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Let's talk about some of our great people, like Dr. Chad Mitchell. Chad, anybody gets injured in baseball, the average Joe falls down, hurts a hip, whatever, any type of injury, what's the best way to get up with you?
Call us at Southern Orthopedic Specialists, 850-785-4344. Or they can go to www.chadmitchellmd.com.
Once Chad heals you, once he puts those hands on you and he heals you, all you got to do then is get out to Bay Point Golf, and you'll love Bay Point Golf. I love when Chad puts his hands on, heals me. I'll tell you that right now. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and staff meteorologist Tim Root for up-to-the-minute weather reports all day long.
Moving northwestward into the Gulf of Mexico by the weekend.
In-depth storm coverage.
Gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour.
And breaking weather as it happens.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
At Slim Chickens, craft means something. Craft means bacon. And oh, so crispy. Craft means a good cayenne kick. And all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken. All served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, craft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Craft sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
Swampy Jack here. I've traveled the world for decades and brought my most exciting adventures to Panama City Beach. Encounter the 25-foot-tall Swamp Ape. This indoor scrambler ride is synchronized for a multimedia experience like you've never felt. Put the pedal to the metal, racing around the Marrakesh track in electric go-kart. Supercharge your kart with special power-ups for extra speed or to sabotage opponents. And if you're hungry, grab a meal at Swampy's Cantina or enjoy an ice-cold beer. This and more at Swampy Jack's.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
The #1 SEC call-in show is now twice as big. It's double the Paul Feinbaum Show. Weeknights starting at 6.
Okay, but also go faster.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Go Gators! But we're going to do Florida State instead.
Yeah.
We got the wrong fight.
We wanted to generate some phone
Yeah, we
calls
want to
this
get y'all waking up and make sure you know what we're doing. All right, FSU, John and Charlotte do so many great things. Get out to Newbies and support them. They do an incredible job. The mothership, the best bands in the Southeast. Every Friday and Saturday night, the music's unbelievable. The food out there is just a great place to be. Legendary place. Newbies 2 on the Curve. That's where you can go watch Atlanta Braves play. You can go watch all baseball. You can do anything you want out there. And he is here. You know what? We can hold off on that.
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll get to fight song when we get back. Let's get. We're gonna forget John and Charlotte. Let's talk about Bay Point Golf. What's going on down at Bay Point Golf, Ryan? Ryan just walked in here.
Well, I feel like I should be getting paid to come in here now. This is 3
You
shows.
you are, baby. You are. You are getting paid.
Keep pushing that narrative.
I know.
Good luck with that
one. A lot of people on that same boat. No, obviously down at the golf club, beautiful weather this week. We got a lot of golf going on. We had the North Bay Haven tournament on Sunday, which was great. Anthony Peebles came out and played afterwards too, which was pretty cool. That tournament, that was all part of the tournament. But then, yeah, we're just getting ready. No tournament scheduled this week, so just lots of people playing golf, enjoying the club. And then next week we've got 2 Chamber of Commerce tournaments, the Arnold Marlins football, and then the end of the week we got a bunch of groups coming in from out of town playing some different golf games.
All right, we had a wonderful time. I told Brian, I said, man, I was going to call you, and I forgot all about you. We were watching golf. We got there early, probably, I don't know, 5:30.
Yeah.
And we stayed about 8.
Yeah, you guys were there for a while. Yeah.
Had a really good time. I'm telling you guys, after Chad, instead of fighting, you want to go on the beach and do something. You don't want to go wait an hour to get in a restaurant. Now we've got Club 72. The food's incredible. You got music. You got TVs everywhere. You got indoor, outdoor sitting, plenty of place. And we had about 30-something people in there.
Yeah, which was good because, I mean, the weather it was blowing 30 miles an hour.
Everybody was kind of inside.
We set up anytime you can be outside, you obviously get more people to come on up. But hopefully there's always one more little cold spell right around Easter, no matter if Easter's early or late. Easter happens to be late this year. Guess what? It was in the 40s, Saturday night and Friday night and Saturday night. So hopefully that's gone and passed. We don't have to worry about that anymore.
I'll tell you what, I enjoyed it. I had a really good time. All right, let's get into it. The Masters, the legend, he finished. He finished.
Through. Yep,
and that's good.
Just making the cut was an unbelievable feat by Tiger. Obviously he didn't play that great, but it was really nice to see the humility with Tiger, especially when he had that interview with Amanda after the Saturday round, I believe it was, when she asked how he played today, and he just kind of laughed and said, I hit a lot of putts. It was like a practice putting session out there.
36 putts Saturday.
For him is pretty insane, but also shows you how difficult Augusta National is to navigate on the green. So, but he finished. He's already committed to the Open at St. Andrews, which will be the 150th Open Championship played at the Old Course, which is he always says is his favorite golf course in the world.
When is
the
this?
Open Championship is it will be in July. It's because next month will be the PGA Championship at Southern Hills, which he has not committed to yet. And then you have the U.S. Open, which I cannot remember where that is this year. And then following in July, you'll have the Open Championship, which Tiger will be playing in.
Yeah.
So. But yeah,
he's got to be worn out, his body and everything.
I think
did you hear about Saban? Saban flew. They had they get the plane using time, so he flew in. They had scrimmage Saturday. He flies in. They show him, and if you watch on TV, if you look to the right of Saban, you see Dr. Chad Mitchell.
Oh yeah,
Saban had his hat on. Chad was out there and just smiling. Now Chad flew his own plane down there. And did y'all have a good time?
Had a great time.
They treated you good.
Since we're telling stories, I had an absolute time. Great time. Yeah, absolutely.
He was parked
I shook
up
hands
there
with
with all
Tiger,
the
too.
other
I talked to him for a little while.
Yeah.
You know who was front and center on the 18th green, though, that I would always see? Lynn Swan.
Yeah.
Who's a member out there, I believe. But, Lynn Swan was very
Now you're
prominently
not a member of the Masters, are you? You just go.
He declined. He declined the invitation.
I just wondered if Chad was a member.
There's a few people in the world that have declined the invitation to join, and he's one of them.
Chad.
Yeah. I got other things to do, Coach.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you, it was good seeing you and Saban hanging out again. That was cool. All right, hey, but let's talk more about now the winner. What y'all guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it was the third hole changed everything. I think
Yes.
everybody knows that. If you watched the tournament, Scheffler was off to a little bit of a shaky start. I say shaky. He hit a couple errant tee shots, but recovered nicely, made pars on 1 and 2, and then hole 3, Cam Smith hits one way left, and then Scheffler proceeds to hit one left too. They both get pretty good breaks because of that giant scoreboard there. They got relief and were able to take a drop, and that really helped Scotty Scheffler because he was way left over there. But then they both try to get on the green. They hit it short, and then one of the most famous shots people will be talking about for years to come is that little pitch in he had on number 3. Hit a little bump into that slope in the front. It was running with some speed, so he was lucky it hit the flag, but it hit the flag and dropped in the hole. All of a sudden, you got a 2-shot swing. Cam Smith gets it to 1 back going into the third hole, and then coming off the third green, Scotty Scheffler's got a 3-stroke lead again. So that shot will be talked about for a long time. Shots like that have a tendency to settle you down. He looked a lot more comfortable after that. He was just, playing some pretty fantastic golf. And, Cam Smith tried to hang in there, but it's tough when you got that 3 or 4 stroke lead at Augusta because you have to push. You have to try to make birdies. And you get penalized big time if you make those mistakes. And obviously going into number 12, it was fairly close, but just as so many people in the final round at Augusta in the Masters just wipe it a little bit left, trying to hit that fade in there to that pin position, and they just get a little quick, leave it out there. Rays Creek eats that ball up and goes on to make a triple and pretty much seals the tournament for Scotty Scheffler. So it's pretty unbelievable. I read a very interesting article this morning about Scotty Scheffler. He seems really cool, calm, and collected.
I read the same one.
About
amazing.
Yeah, in the night before, him and his wife went out to dinner, and I'll summarize it. But I guess he was a little nervous, so he spit up his dinner all over the lap in his car, and his wife thought that was hilarious. And then the next morning, Scheffler was crying like a baby, talking about the stress, didn't know how to handle it, and all this stuff. You're sitting there waiting to tee off. I mean, you don't tee off until Eastern time, like 2:30 in the afternoon. So you're waiting all day to get going. And his wife said, if you go out there and shoot 82, that was God's plan. So he said, God will be with you. Really, really talked about that, and pretty incredible that how nervous it just the reality of the situation.
There's a lot of pressure on those professionals.
And what makes that even more amazing is if you watch him on the course. He's almost like DJ. He just looks unflappable, like nothing bothers. And it may be a case to where he's comfortable on the golf course.
Yeah.
And then thinking about golf drives him insane.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
It was a very interesting read. I never would have guessed that.
No, you would have never thought.
And he was very candid about it.
Yes.
And, but
so pretty crazy.
We may have seen a true star born in front of it. This guy. He's really impressed me.
Who is the guy? I love him. The Arkansas. He's the Arkansas fan, the golfer.
Oh, John Daly.
You think he gets nervous like he probably drunk.
No.
John doesn't know where he is.
John didn't know where he was at before.
He's ever worried about anything.
When he was in his prime, he was primed up every time he went out there.
That's
and
true.
played, so
In a lot of ways, that's true.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
it was. It was interesting. I'd mentioned to you before we started. It was one of those where because Scheffler's not like a dynamic personality, maybe like a Rory McIlroy or a Tiger Woods or a Phil Mickelson, like that. He's every bit as good. At least this weekend he was. But maybe for the layperson who doesn't watch golf a lot, it may not have seemed as exciting. There was some tremendous golf yesterday. I mean, Rory and Colin Morikawa both holing out of the bunker on 18.
And they both made eagle on 13.
Both made. I mean, had the rounds of the day. I mean, Rory was 1 over entering. He shot 64, which, tied the best round ever for the 4th round at the Masters. 1 off the course record. Ended up 2nd. He was what started the day, 10 shots back.
Yeah.
And ended up 2nd. He was amazing. The other thing that was crazy, if you watch this, so Scheffler comes to the 18th with a 5-shot lead.
Yeah.
And he drove it in trouble, recovered very nicely. He's on the green. And just kind of, you could tell, like, the pressure was off. I mean, he's up by 5.
Got a 5-stroke lead, yeah.
He 4 putts, which I guarantee you in the history of the Masters, no one's ever won the tournament 4 putting the 72nd green.
Probably not.
But it was almost endearing because after the 3rd one he missed, the crowd got up.
Yeah,
and
it was pretty awesome.
And
It was pretty
chanting
awesome.
His name. He was laughing. But it was a really enjoyable tournament to watch. I really hope people stuck with it because It didn't necessarily have the star power that some do, but man, Sunday at the Masters is just right up there in sports.
Did they come out with the ratings or anything, TV ratings?
Yeah, they said the TV ratings for I don't know which days, but they were the highest on record.
Wow.
The Tiger
I'm sure
back.
Thursday, Friday had a lot to do with that.
For sure. But a little. Are we going to talk about it in the next segment?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple other points, and then I'll let you guys get back to your normal stuff.
Absolutely. We want to hear about it, man. I was just thrilled when I saw my boy Saban there and Doc there. That just made my day. If you got to go back and watch it, replay it, you'll see them. They were both there watching them play. Also, let's don't forget about Blue Sky Express Car Wash on Bat Beach Road. You want your truck to look brand new, all you got to do is go to Blue Sky Express Car Wash. They do an incredible job. And buy the 1995 special. If you don't, the second time you go, it's paid for itself. It doesn't make any sense. Just do it. Just listen to me. Just do it. I'm telling you. You can go get it washed every day then. Bay Point Golf, we had a wonderful time Friday. It's the place, not just go play golf. You can go buy. They got great cloth. They got it all there, man.
He's referring to shirts when he says
yeah,
great
I
cloth.
love the cloths they have down there. Everything, the shirts, the shorts, everything is really good. And good prices on it, too. And then you can go eat there, Club 72. That's going to be our place to go this summer, I'm telling you. Join us there. Chad and I are going to be there quite a bit. It's a great place to go. Don't forget about Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. Ethan Boyd does an incredible job. A&M had a really long 8-day game like no other. They were there for about 3 hours, and they actually had kickoff and everything. We'll talk more about that with Ethan tomorrow. But get out to Ruby's. You love barbecue, turkey sandwiches, whatever. It's a great. Ask Ryan. It's a great place.
His team plays second on Saturday.
Really?
Yep.
Great place. Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Monday morning. Mostly sunny today. A nice day with temperatures in the mid-70s. South wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And the water temperature in the Gulf is 70. Partly to mostly cloudy in the low 60s overnight. Light south winds. Light south breeze is Tuesday, mostly sunny, around 78. Mostly cloudy Wednesday. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Offord Tire and Service Center in Callaway. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Atlanta Braves baseball is back.
Swing and a drive. That's hammered deep right. He jumped on one and hits a homer.
We're your exclusive radio home for the Atlanta Braves.
At the wall. It is gone. A grand slam for Acuna.
Hear every exciting home run, every strikeout, and every thrilling victory on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Bikini Bash and Health Fair on April 20th at VitCulture PCB. Check out the cool collection of local businesses specializing in your health, your wellness, and your beauty. We'll serve healthy snacks, superfood cocktails.
What?
Live entertainment, giveaways, and door prizes. Let's get ready for a hot summer together at the Bikini Bash and Health Fair on April 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. at VitCulture PCB, 11905 Panama City Beach Parkway.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show.
I'm not prepared. I really am not prepared at all. I hope you won't judge me on one email I sent 10 years ago.
My apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Live from the J. Michael Studio.
Not after spicy or food
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest. Well, I want to thank Judy Brand for that kind words that she just texted here. And possibly. Hey, listen to me, Doc. This injury he came back from, I didn't think he'd ever play again. I was told by somebody I really respect that he'd never win tournament again. And I said,
That was pre. That was pre.
I said he would win another one. I know enough golf that I knew he'd win.
Hey,
but talk about this injuries, what that guy's gone through.
Listen, that statement you referred to, that's technically a true statement. I mean, what Tiger Woods has done coming back from this injury. I mean, I refreshed my memory on this by looking this article up. I mean, he had what we call a comminuted tib-fib fracture on the bad leg.
Exactly. That's what I thought.
Those words sound made up.
So,
Coach, how did they fix it?
Yeah. They had surgery. They had a surgery. I think they flew you out there, matter of fact.
Anyway, so they put a rod down his tibia, and when they say open comminuted, okay? Open means the bones poke through the skin. Now, that can be a huge wound. But when they say comminuted, this is a high-energy injury. A lot of soft tissue damage, bone damage. Just getting that healed and getting him back walking is tough enough. But to see the fact that and his other leg was injured as well. I mean, he had some, they're describing some plates and screws in I think it's his other leg, maybe his ankle, foot, that kind of thing. That's pretty devastating injury. And then to, say, hey, I'm going to play the Masters and come back and do a decent job at it. I mean, I salute the guy. I know he's had his issues in the past and all that. And, we all grow, we all move forward, but what a great thing to see. And everybody that knows me knows I'm not a golfer, but I love watching it. And I love seeing somebody like that give a story for all of us to look at and see, hey, if I'm ever through this injury, don't give up. Keep moving forward. And it's a good story for, patients of mine and others out there that have suffered some injuries.
And you talk about he's been through a lot. I think we've all been through that. Our wives beating us with a bat, after
golf club.
That's just you.
Club,
that's just you.
Yeah, I mean, we're all used to that.
I don't.
It's everybody. I think everybody has done what he's done. But you're right. The amount of money he had, he didn't have to come and put his body through all that. He did. And he did. I really.
And I salute him for doing it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Some people, I guess. And it was very few and far between, think, oh, he's just grandstanding. No, let me tell you something. Coming back from that and competing like that, it's nothing short of impressive from a medical standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, just walking that golf course alone, let alone playing, and it was his right leg was the one with the tibia.
Yeah.
So
really bad injury.
That in your golf swing, your power is from the ground up. The people who try to generate power with their upper body, that's where they hit those huge big slices and all that stuff. In golf swing, that's why these guys work with these force plates and all that to see where their pressure is in their golf swing, to see how they're correctly shifting their weight back and then shifting their weight through. All these guys, their leverage is from the ground up. So when you're driving through the golf ball, you are pushing off that right leg. All your weight is being forced into the ground through your golf swing so that you can hit it. So just hearing what you're saying about that injury, I mean, the rehab and the work he had to put through just to be able to, one, walk again, but then two, swing with power. I mean, you could see he lost a little bit of power out there, but where I thought his game was unbelievably sharp was his irons. He was hitting his irons so well all week, and to be able to stay balanced, and especially on Augusta where you're up and down, you're like that, you're hitting all these crazy shots, which is a whole nother point. He's not just playing on flat ground. He's playing on very sloped, hitting very difficult shots, and pretty unbelievable what he did.
You even said that the TV doesn't give justice about how tough it is to walk that thing.
No. I mean, just if you think about the walk, up number one, and then number two is downhill. Incredible. No, I mean, you're not walking downhill, but then, yeah, I mean, there's some serious slopes. Number 5 is extremely uphill when you're walking from the tee, and number 6 you go downhill about 60, 70 feet, and then come right back up on 7. So yeah, it's challenging for sure, for sure. Getting back to the winner, Scotty Scheffler. They didn't really talk about it in the coverage, and maybe they did, and maybe I missed it. But Scotty Scheffler recently had a new caddy join him, which was Bubba Watson's former caddy. And before he switched to Ted Scott's the caddy's name, Scotty Scheffler had 62 starts on the PGA Tour, and he won $8.56 million. And then since Ted Scott joined him, just in 9 starts, He's won $9.04 million, and he's won 4 tournaments, 3 in a row, and then the Masters. He's won 4 tournaments since Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
That in itself. Now,
He's
there's
won
been
4?
Well, his first ever PGA Tour tournament was the one he won on Super Bowl Sunday. He won 2 more after that. One of them being a World Golf when he won the match play. There's only one other player that's ever done that before. Won 3 tournaments. One of them being a World Golf Championship tournament, and then the Masters, and that was Tiger Woods.
You know what else they were talking about that, and you mentioned Super Bowl Sunday. That was the other interesting note I didn't know. He's from Highland Park High School in Texas, which is where Matthew Stafford and Clayton Kershaw also went to high school.
Yep.
Wow. You think those guys have enjoyed their athletic program at that high school?
Absolutely.
I'd like to be the golf coach there.
Or the football, right?
Or football or baseball, yeah.
The trifecta.
But no, he was really fun to. Cameron Smith, I was impressed by him. I mean, he made some mistakes. You could tell he was pressing, and 3 did. It changed the whole landscape because then he had to overpress, and he got a little out of sorts and snapped a few left, and then he just made a bad swing at 12.
Yep. He got a little quick and wiped it. But again, he had to press. Scotty Scheffler had the lead, and he played well with the lead. And again, that shot on 3, I mean, that doesn't go in. Who knows who wins the Masters? But
he could have easily made 5, maybe 6.
That's the Masters, though.
How much did he win?
2 point. It was the highest. I might have misspoke on a show last week. Yesterday was the highest first place payout in the history of golf. It was like $2.7 million.
Wow. What about the runner-up?
Runner-up was like 1.8 or something like that. Yeah.
Well, and the irony of Rory coming in second for so many years now. I mean, Rory's been top 10 the Masters like 7 of the last 8 years or something. But he's doing these Sunday Greg Norman charges. The irony is when he had the best shot to win the Masters, he was so far out front and shot 80 famously.
Snapped it left on 12.
If Rory can just get out of the gates, I'm amazed because I don't think of Augusta being the course for him.
Yeah.
He clearly knows that course.
Yeah.
That would be the career Grand Slam for him.
We got a question for you.
Yeah.
How much did the caddy make?
Usually it's typically 10%. However, when you win a major or something like that, they're giving them way more than 10%.
I was about to
and they're also, they get some sponsor money, and a lot of these caddies.
On average, what do you think he got for that?
I mean, he probably 2.7. I mean, 10% is $270,000, but he probably gave him a lot more than that. I would think. They pay their caddies in addition to tournament winnings. So, but look, I mean, being a caddy is not an easy job because there's just as much pressure on you out there as there is on the guy swinging the golf club, depending on the dynamic of the relationship. But the Ted Scott had an interesting comment talking about when he started caddying for Scheffler, like. You've got to, when you start caddying for somebody new, you've got to adapt to their personality. Yeah. Because if you as a caddy try to continue whatever you were doing with other people and that doesn't jive, you don't want to be part of the problem. You want to be there for the player. So it's a lot of these caddies do bounce around and go with different people. But cool to see Ted Scott switch bags and then have so much success with Scotty. It's pretty neat.
And I would imagine there's probably very few that have any more different personalities than Bubba Watson to Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, definitely. Stark difference.
Other than apparently both of them cry a lot. So.
Yeah, still pretty crazy.
So does Coach Hale.
I like to cry to the bank with all that money. Good Lord. Thank you for that question, Bill Shields. Appreciate it. What else you got for us, Ryan?
I mean, that's pretty much everything. I appreciate you letting me come in one more time this morning to recap the Masters, and we got a good busy week coming out at the club. So again, we always have our local players pass for all locals, as long as you have a Florida ID in the 5 surrounding counties, or you have an active military ID. You can register. You pay a registration fee, you get a free round of golf, and then you play for discounted rates off the public rates.
You hear anything about the Auburn Tigers this weekend?
Other than Ashford seemed to steal the show, like you've been saying. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I like that. I like where that's going. He seems to be a good quarterback, very athletic, made some great throws, and T.J. Finley kind of looked more the same, unfortunately.
Well, if you're an Auburn fan, you couldn't be happier. Georgia lost 2 5-star offensive linemen, really good football players. You don't ever want that to happen. So I don't know what's – and I believe now, don't they have a new offensive line coach at Georgia this year?
Yeah, Matt Luke stepped away.
So, there's adjustment there to be made. But we'll get into Auburn when we get back. We got Alabama coming up first, then Auburn. We got Dr. Chad Mitchell with us. One more time, Bay Point, what's going on? What's the best thing to do when you get down there besides play golf?
Yeah, play golf, come out, hang out, eat, shop. It's and of course the Best of the Bay voting has started again. We've won best golf course 6 years in a row.
Whoa, time out.
Trying to make it 7.
Time out. Best of Bay. Did you hear what he said? We need you to stop right now, pull over, call, put our show in, Coach James Hale Show, Best of Bay. Okay,
it's nominating right now. All you got to do is get nominated, and then the voting starts.
Okay.
But
voter fraud. How do you nominate? Go nominate us now. If you're listening, go do it.
And then the voting will start and all that good stuff. But they got added another category this year, golf shop as well, because there's a few other golf shops locally as well. So
y'all should win everything.
If you like our golf shop and obviously our golf course, nominate us and then hopefully vote for us.
Go vote for Bay Point Golf. It's incredible. Everything above. I got to be careful. Big Dave. Now, Dave gets the afternoon show on Bay Sports. I look and say, well, I don't see ours on there anymore. So, wait, make sure you vote for our show, not David's. Don't vote on David's.
He actually shares it to that Facebook group. So,
yeah, he used to do it. He used to do it in the mornings here. And
you got to take some initiative and make it happen.
And actually, I'm putting Dave up for everything. He is incredible. Great young man. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Brian, you got to go. You going to be here?
Yeah, I gotta go back.
Tell Linda and everybody down there say hello. All right, Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. It's the place to go. Beth loves it. Ryan loves it. It's unbelievable. The best pizza out there. Also, they got a bakery. It's incredible. The deli's unbelievable. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli on Thomas Drive. Also, Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to look better, feel better? Jason had a great birthday. He wanted to do something really positive. He went to those cage fighting events over in Jacksonville. Did you see that?
Yeah. He got some good seats, I saw.
Yeah, he's going, oh, man, it's really great. The guys got their heads smashed in pretty good. No, anyway, get out to Max Fit Sports Nutrition, look better, feel better. If you want an athlete, if you got a son or daughter in sports, you want to get an edge, go visit with him. The guy's incredible. Dr. Ward, I'll be having a little surgery with him today. The guy does an incredible job. 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. If it doesn't look right, doesn't feel right, go see Dr. Ward. I just looked at it. I just feel it. Chad, you got to get in there. No doubt about it. I want you to get that checked out. All right. We'll be right back. 104.3 Alabama update coming up. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents Wrestling Against Cancer number 7. In the main event, Chief Little Bear versus Kelly Man. Plus, exciting women's wrestling Saturday, April 30th at the Bay County Fairgrounds. Doors open at 5:30, bell time 6:30. Tickets $12. Ages 6 to 10 only $10. 5 and under free. Proceeds benefit mostly high school student Kendall Susie. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Hear that? That's the plumpest, juiciest hot dogs you've ever seen getting their grill on. But we both know what'll make it sound even better. Oh yeah, it's a Pepsi to go with your hot dog. Because when you're chomping on America's favorite meal, relish, mustard, and onions perfectly blending into a crescendo of flavor, there's only one thing that makes everything about that moment better. A cold, refreshing Pepsi. See what I mean? It's like music to my ears. Hot dogs. Better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The SEC lives here. WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana. All of us. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Golf Plus is your premier golf shop on the Gulf Coast. Not a big box or a chain store, but a local store with golf experts to serve you. An amazing array of demo and fitting products, plus a professional repair shop that can handle anything from a basic re-grip to a full set of re-shafts and everything in between. Golf Plus has locations in Dothan and Panama City Beach to serve you. Come see them today for all your golf needs. Located next to Firefly at the shops at Edgewater. Call 850-249-2726.
Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update, weekday mornings at 8 On the Coach James Hale Show in 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Roll Tide. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1, just like the mighty Crimson Tide of Alabama. Always win. That's Jason Stevenson, Stevenson Air Conditioning. If you have any kind of problem day or night, give them a call. They'll be out there. Get it serviced about every 6 months, but if you buy a brand new one, it's the only thing you'll get. It actually pays for itself. That money you save every single month in your power bill pays for it. It's incredible. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. Alabama went through their second scrimmage, but before we get into that, Chad, they had a 5-star running back Target. They really want this kid. I actually coached there 1 year before I came to the Panhandle, Florida. He's out of Lehigh Acres, Florida, Lehigh High School in Lehigh Acres, Florida. This kid is, he announced his top 7 colleges he will go visit. Well, he's got to get down to 5 official visits, but that's his top 7 as of today. Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Oregon, and Texas A&M.
That's some good schools to go visit.
Very good
He might be
schools.
okay.
Yeah. Alabama will host him this weekend for the A-Day game. He's 6 foot, 200-pound, very physical running back. He is the top running back in the class of 2023. Plays in Lee County. Good competition down there. Rushed for 1,700 yards. They play a tough schedule, too. They had 19 touchdowns in 2021. He runs the 100 meters in 10.8.
Wow.
So he's got speed, he's got power, he's got size, he's got the whole package. He's going to get bigger and bigger. He'll probably go wherever he goes. You got probably another 10 pounds in another 12 months. Anyway, this is a big pickup if Bama can get him. Not sure what will happen. He did take an unofficial visit out to Oregon already. That's how good he is. You know, the guy was at Georgia now. He knew about him when he was at Georgia, so he's trying to get him to come to Oregon and play. Probably promised him everything he wants, that he can start and everything there. Georgia, you might have to sit on the bench for a while. I'm not sure. But he's an elite football player. And look who's after him. It tells you how good he is. Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia. That should tell you enough right there. When those 3 teams are after, nobody's recruiting. Well, I take that back. Texas A&M's on board now. But in the past, it's been Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia doing the best recruiting. Now we got to put Texas A&M right there with them.
Oh yeah, they're up there.
And I'll give him credit. Texas is doing pretty good too.
So you said he's going to be at the Alabama spring game?
Yeah, he'll be there this week,
Saturday.
A-Day game this weekend.
So
he'll be there.
I mean, what better set of backs than to be, talking to Alabama's backs, especially Jahmyr Gibbs coming in.
Trey Sanders.
Trey Sanders, love Trey Sanders. And all the other backs, that are behind those guys. I mean, he's going to be around some really good running backs, and so that's a good recruiting tool.
Well,
for
the
Alabama
great thing
and
about they've already had a couple other running backs that they're targeting up in there because you don't know who you're going to get.
Sure, right.
And one was another 5-star, and he talked about the visit to Alabama. Like, they develop running backs. If you want to go to the NFL and you play running back, that's the school you need to be at. Because you look at all the like you just said, all the running backs have come through there. The Heisman Trophy went 2 Heisman Trophy winners. Matter of fact, the last 2 running backs that won Heisman Trophy played at the University of Alabama. I believe that's correct. So they sell that. You go into the recruiting area and they show all those Heisman. They show the pictures of the NFL players, how much money they make, and what they did at the University of Alabama. That's very impressive. You can sell it. It's right there. Come here. We put you in the league, and that's what they tell them. It's helped them greatly in recruiting. Now, where this young man winds up, I don't know. I know Napier's going to do everything they can, and they are some big Gators down there in Lee County, boosters. So Florida's got a shot. I'm sure Florida's going to have a shot at him. Texas A&M, the amount of money they're playing with the NIL, are going to have a shot at him. Oregon got all kind of money. So it's like now. In the old days, it was the facilities, the coaches getting you the league. Now you don't have to wait in the league to get money. So I'm sure this young man's going to be wanting some money. So if it's all about money, Texas A&M is going to be up in there because they got as much as anybody. He didn't mention Texas. I guess he didn't like Texas so much. But Georgia has a way to get players to come, and so does Alabama. So in Ohio State. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll keep an eye on this young man right here. All right, Alabama's second scrimmage. Saban continues to stress to his young players how you practice, how you prepare determines your performance during a scrimmage, during a game, whatever. Last year he talked about quite a bit. He's talked more about this year with the younger players on the staff. You can tell he likes his football team. He had to get on so many times last year. This year He's smiling at practice. He's happy. He's bouncing around. He looks like a little bunny rabbit out there. He's really doing well. He likes what the kids are doing. He said, I'm pleased with the effort. Everything's great, but we just got to get them. They just got to understand every time they walk on the field, they got to be consistent how they practice, how they perform. We want our kids at Alabama to play with great effort, great toughness, and great discipline while they can execute the fundamentals that we're teaching them. And that's what he's done probably as well as any coach I've ever seen. You've watched him play. We've been up there and watched those guys.
Yeah.
They do the little things right, man.
Right. That's what you got to do. You know, one of the philosophies I've seen that applies with that is I read a book by Tony Dungy.
Mm-hmm.
And he says you got to do the ordinary, everyday things better than everybody else, and you'll be a champion. Just do the ordinary, mundane things better than everybody else. And really, that kind of applies in other areas of life as well.
Absolutely. There's a reason you're a champion and a reason you're not.
Right.
There's a reason you start and the reason you're not.
Yep.
It's not just always the talent. Now, talent's 90%
Talent's
of it.
huge.
Yeah.
But
But I've seen guys that are very talented. They're not coachable, doesn't have the work ethic and things like that.
Yeah,
like the receiver we just
right,
lost.
Ja Hall, which, I was touting him all last year.
He had a talent.
What a disappointment.
Yeah.
I mean, and the team suspended him.
You remember him, too, last spring as he in early enrollee. He tore it up. He looked, oh, my God, we got another one.
Right.
And it never panned out.
Right. I mean, you can't go up there with a bad attitude. You got to kind of humble yourself
work.
and work hard, and the process will get you to where you need to be. It'll
This
get
is
you
what
to
I
the
love
next
about
level.
Alabama. You go up there. I've watched them practice. I've gone up there in the summertime when nobody else around, watched the winter workouts. Everything. You don't give great effort. I don't care how good you are. You're not going to play. They don't play around. Their practices are hard. They're physical. Everybody's running. I'll never forget going to not a coaching clinic. It was a camp. And we got through with the older guys, and they had the little kids camp. So I stayed around, watched it and everything, just watched, save and see what he's going to do. They blow a whistle or a horn, and everybody sprints the next drill. He goes completely nuts. You think he's coaching his secondary. He made those little kids run back, up, downs, do it again, do it right. He's yelling and screaming at them. It's like he's coaching.
What did their mamas say?
Oh, they loved it. I mean, that's what they got their money's worth with Saban. He's just geared that way. Yeah. You don't care who you are. You're going to do a certain. He don't care what coaches. He'll get on a coach in a heartbeat too.
Awesome.
It's going to be done right. He takes notes on everything.
Did he get on to you?
No, he had something I wanted. He was pretty good to me. I had it made when I was up there. Also, man, we got a playmaker. We do definitely have a playmaker. Don't worry about wide receiver. That Burton kid from Georgia, he can play. He's been very impressive.
Absolutely, he
For
can.
Nick to brag on you, and this is another thing. If he ever praises a kid, the kid deserves it. He's not the kind of guy that.
Yeah, he's
BS's
not going to
around.
talk.
Yeah,
Right, he's not going to talk about you unless
if
you're.
he ain't talking
you're
about
really
you, you
doing it.
ain't doing like he wants. If he
Yeah.
talks about you, you're pretty doggone good. Because he doesn't usually do this a whole lot. But he's made some big plays. Talking about making short catches. He's made impact plays. He can take it to the house. He's got great speed. He runs great routes. He's got good hands. He's really excited about this young man right now. So this kid from Georgia. And at Georgia, every time he touched a pass at Georgia, he averaged 19.1 yards of perception, which is outstanding. Think about it. Every time the guy catches the ball, he's picking almost 20 yards. That's really good. And the reason he left Georgia, he wanted to get to an offense, get to where they had really felt like a big-time quarterback that threw the ball. Bama's been doing that, so what's that do? It makes those great receivers come to Alabama. And that's the one. And they didn't feel like the quarterback at Georgia could get it done, so he comes to Bama. Even though they won the national championship, but they weren't much of a passing team compared to Alabama.
Yeah, Stetson Bennett tends to throw to the tight ends, backside of the backfield, and he'll hit his wide receivers some. But it's he's throwing it around a lot. These wide receivers like this, they want the ball. They want to show what they're capable of.
Chad, this quarterback here could start in most any other school in the country, and I was told, we got connections up there, I was told the kid was coming on last year. Wait for this guy, Melrose, the kid out of Texas. You seen him in person.
Milroe.
That's a big, good-looking, physical-looking football
Absolutely.
player. He
He's
looks
a
like he
huge
can play
guy.
linebacker. I mean,
he does.
He can run.
He reminds me kind of you can't compare him, but the size reminds me of Cam Newton.
I mean, he's a pretty boy now. I'm telling you. Not as tall, but built like that. He's a sophomore. Going to be a sophomore. He is a lot better passer now than he was last year. Actually, I'll be honest with you, he was getting better as the year went on up at Alabama.
Right.
Last year, people were talking about him. getting ready to playoffs and stuff like that. He kept improving, getting better. And now he's gone through another winter workout. He's stronger than he was. But think about him. He can take it to the house running, and he can throw it. Dual threat quarterback. It's unbelievable. But he's got it now. He knows the system now. He's throwing the ball really good. Nick praised him again second time. First 2 scrimmages, he's praised this young man, which tells you a lot right there. But I'd already heard from other coaches that this guy's something special. He's a really good football player.
I kept hearing it last year.
Yeah, he's really good. So if we do get an injury, we're going to be in pretty good shape. If we don't get a big-time quarterback come in here like named Manning, we're going to be okay regardless. This kid's going to be able to play if we can keep him. I just knock on wood he didn't go anywhere else. And I think he's happy. I think everything's good. He knows the ability he has. Everybody knows up front, you come to Alabama, you're going to have to compete every single day because we're going to keep recruiting players just like you.
But I hear he's a big competitor.
Yeah.
And you know, just from
you
what
watch go back and watch his tape in high school.
Oh, I know. But you know, to see, I think he knows he's in a great position behind Bryce Young right now.
Oh yeah.
And
he's
you know, he can watch and learn and be ready to be on the next level when the opportunity presents itself.
Nick said he's doing some really good things. I'm really encouraged by the progress he's made. He's made a lot of big plays. He has got much better commander of the field, of the offense, of the team. Has a lot more confidence, doing really well. I got a lot more in Bama. I'm going to say this for Tuesday because when we get back, we got to talk about the Auburn Tigers. But anyway, Nick has to find something to be upset about the spring. But everybody else I talked to, they thought it was a pretty good spring practice. So everything I'm hearing about Alabama so far this year has been really positive and really good. The kids are working really hard. They want to get back and win a championship. And we'll see how it plays out. It's hard to go undefeated. It's hard to just lose one game every single year. It's incredible. But things are going pretty good right now for Alabama. And I want to thank Stevenson Air Conditioning. Jason, love you guys down there. Y'all do a great job. Debbie, incredible lady. Give her a call if something tears up. I don't care what time it is, day or night. Give them a call. They'll get there as quickly as they can, and they'll solve all your problems. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. Also, don't forget about J. Michael's Restaurant, Thomas Drive. Best seafood, coldest beers, incredible. Go try it out. Buffalo Rock, wonderful people, wonderful company. They've done so many great things for this county. It's unbelievable, especially the schools district. All right, we'll be right back. Auburn Tigers, 8-day game, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Good Monday morning, mostly sunny today, a nice day with temperatures in the mid-70s, south wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and the water temperature in the Gulf is 70. Partly to mostly cloudy in the low 60s overnight, light south winds. Light south breeze is Tuesday, mostly sunny, around 78. Mostly cloudy Wednesday. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
There's some fierce conversations, and I'm just giving you an opinion here based on what I hear, but there's a dividing line in the SEC right now between the have and the have-nots. There's no certainty we're going to get a resolution on this anytime soon. Of course, we don't have to, but at some point this has to be resolved, and there are certain schools, and you can guess which ones, who are going to come out on the short end.
Weekday evening 6 to 10, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Tiger fans, join us weekday mornings at 8:15. It's the Bay Point Golf Auburn Update on the Coach James Hale Show in 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida War Eagle. My Alabama update, I forgot to mention Mark Brown. Mark, I talked to Mark for a long time at the Cajun Place. I tell you what, he is a big-time Mosley guy. Kids played over there. And there's another family member, his son, Kay Brown, is like Mr. Mosley. He's done so many great things over there. It's incredible. I think he actually even coaches over there, helps them out every way he can. But appreciate Mr. Brown. Had a great talk and visit with him. He was telling me some stuff about a coach that got a high school job in Alabama, how much the guy was making. It's incredible, really incredible. But Mark, I hope you listen this morning. I forgot to do it during the 8 o'clock, but I'm doing it now, and I really enjoyed visiting with you. Give us a call every once in a while, let us know everything's going. Kay Brown, you keep it up, brother. You do a great job over there at Mosley High School. I've got a phone call. Let's take this phone call real quick. You're listening to the Auburn Update, brought to you by Bay Point Golf. You love golf, there's only one place to go. That is Bay Point. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Go, Shark City, Arizona, program 22's back, Kendall. Good morning, coaches and doctor.
Good morning. Glad you didn't call during the Alabama update.
I wouldn't take it.
Oh, yes, you will.
Why are you going to mess up the Auburn Update, brought to you by Bay Point Golf?
Hey,
tell us about Auburn.
Well, Auburn, I'll tell you, it's a beautiful stadium. I remember when I was a flight student, we flew over Jordan Hare on our way back to NAS Pensacola when I was in flight school training. Beautiful. Beautiful from the air, man.
I tell you what, now Auburn got to do a good job in going and getting players transferring in. They got to.
They've got
up
to,
front
yeah.
on defensive line.
The heat's on right now. Yeah.
What are you hearing, Chad?
So, what I've heard from inside information, I mean, there are a lot of problems. Just what you're hearing in the media. If you're digging around finding articles, you'll hear this same thing. That there was a lot of problems with all the mess that went on with Harsin and the boosters and the school and the investigation and the false allegations, and that's created a lot of problems with the players. I think they're getting that straightened out. I think Harsin's weathered that, but there are just a lot of problems. The issue there is chemistry, because you're bringing in a lot of kids from the transfer portal. They've got their work cut out for them. They still have time. I don't want to make it gloom and doom. Yeah. You get talent in, and if you've got some talent that can play, you've got some time to still put this team together by the fall. But it's a big time challenge for Harsin right now.
If they do not get help up front on the defense side of the line, they're going to be in trouble. So they know that, and they're going to go get it. I feel like he can get it done. All right, Michigan, what do you got for us today?
Well, I just want to let you know that Quarterback Vision's coming to town from Nashville to hold their quarterback camp on Saturday at Arnold. So sign up, contact me or Quarterback Vision on the web or on the Instagram or whatever. We have quarterbacks coming all the way from Destin coming over for the camp and all that. And got back from Dothan, played a little travel baseball this weekend. Not the results we like, but you just gotta keep improving. That flea market, Sadie's Flea Market on the way to Dothan is awesome, by the way, up 231. But I wanted to call. So I heard Bay hired a new football coach, and then North Bay Haven hired one. Can you tell me a little bit about those coaches?
Two outstanding coaches. Well, I told everybody 2 days before who was going to be at North Bay Haven. We kept hearing that, and he came from Hilliard. I don't have the notes in front of me right now, but he is a triple option guy, knows what he's doing. I think he'll do a wonderful job there. He was last 3 years, he's like 21-4, something like that. Great job. Very fortunate to have him at North Bay Haven. They met with him Saturday, the boosters, the parents, the coaches, the players. So I think there's a great hire. They lost a great one. Andy was a great coach, and they got a great one. So now, Bay High School, upgrade. I think Jeremy Brown's incredible. He did a great job. He built Mosley back up. I think he was 41-39 at Mosley. Kids love him. I think he'll do really well. I think he fits in pretty good at Bay High School. He played there. I think it's a home run. Billy May does a great job of looking at everything and hiring great. Look at the basketball coach Billy May hired. Nobody even really heard of the guy, and look what he's done. It's incredible. So I got to take my hat off to Billy May for the great job he's doing over there as a principal. And I think Bay's going to be really in good shape with Coach Brown there.
Coach Brown, wasn't he the one that kind of got railroaded out of Mosley? Is that the same guy?
Woo!
I don't know about railroad.
I don't know railroad. I don't know. They just made a decision. Doug made a decision where they were going to take it a different level, and he made a tough call, and he did it. That's just hey, when you get hired, you're hired to be fired. You hear that?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. I think I remember that was a few years ago, right?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yeah. He's been out of the job at Mosley 1 year, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He was a coach. I believe that he hired one of his former players to help him get back on track, and they didn't like that. Is that true? If I remember that story right.
I honestly, I don't remember that.
Yeah, there's more to it than that, but yeah, that's.
Okay.
What you're remembering is correct.
Was that his last year or the year before?
I am not 100% sure on that. I think it was the year before. Actually.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now. That was a couple of years back. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad Coach Brown's getting a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
Our little Eddie plays with one of his teammates' dads knows Jeremy, and he says he's a great dude and all that. So I'm glad he got a second chance. You know, everyone deserves a second chance or whatever. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
So anyway.
Hey, listen, did you hear that Florida State, Texas A&M, and Auburn, their halftime shows were unbelievable, a lot better than Michigan's?
That's not saying much.
Well, that's true. Anything would be
That's
better
not
than that.
saying much at all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
I just wanted you to know that. A&M actually played a real game. They had kickoff return. Of course, it wasn't live, but they did it, lined up and covered their lanes. And it was like 3 hours long. The other ones were really shorter. Auburn's was short. Florida State I think it was kind of short. But we had three really good spring games going on, and we might get to talk about them one day.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I think there's something going on behind the scenes. Because Kaepernick's demeanor is kind of changing, and I think Coach Harbaugh is maybe trying to help that young man get back on track.
I hope so.
I think there's something more. I think there's something. I really do. All joking aside, I think there's something more going on to it because Coach Harbaugh is a patriotic guy, and he knows that's a very touchy subject.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he's trying to get Colin back on track because he wasn't like this until he met that woman.
Yeah.
He wasn't all left like this.
Yeah.
So,
anyway. Well, hopefully you're right. That'd be a great thing.
Yeah, I really do. I really think that's what's going on, personally. So, but I don't know. I don't know for sure.
Are you on your way to work?
On my way to Eglin, keeping them flying, you know. Hopefully we'll be coming back to Tyndall soon. And if all the political leaders out there are listening to the show, you know, bring us back. We can be back to Tyndall tomorrow if people would let us, you know. And the money will come back to Bay County instead of being spent in Okaloosa County, all the Raptor money, you know. And if they think they're going to get F-35s next year, I say 2025 at the earliest. And Michigan Eddie's saying that. Okay. Just want to say it to all the political people that are buying the fake news out there. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we definitely want the military back here at Tyndall. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and that stuff about our Tyndall Jets going to the boneyard, eventually they will, but not in the timeline that the News Herald and all of the Yahoos are saying. That's a long way down the line. Just saying that, too.
Yeah. So. It's crazy. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about the paper mill is closed down, too. Wow.
Yeah, about the paperwork. I know it's not sports related. I heard the employees found out the same way all the public found out. How coward is that if that's true? I heard they found out on Facebook or on the internet like we found out.
Wow.
Is that true?
I have no idea. That's crazy.
I heard that too. I heard that's how the employees found out. That's true. They've been around for 80-something years?
90.
Wow.
90.
90?
Yeah.
What am I going to wake up to? I'm not going to smell the stench anymore? I'm going to miss that.
Go hang around Glenn Manley.
Oh, wow.
Hey, can I finish the Auburn update now?
Hey, Coach, I love you. Quarterbacks, join up. It's going to be a great day Saturday. Make Bay County football great again. Make beach football great again. Come on out. If you want to get better, come to this camp on Saturday. It's worth $120. You'll get better by some professional quarterback coaches that make stuff happen for the youngsters of the Southeast. You guys take care. Love you. Have a blessed week. But I'll talk to you. Have a great Easter. He is risen. Get to church. I'm out. See ya.
See you, Eddie. Awesome.
The great American man, Eddie. Michigan Eddie. All right, I'm gonna come back to Auburn, then we'll do Alabama, then we'll get Florida State in. We got to talk about FSU. Let's talk about all of our wonderful people like Dr. Chad Mitchell. Chad, what is the best way to get up with you?
Call Southern Orthopedic Specialists at 850-785-4344 or go to www.chadmitchellmd.com.
And if we're gonna thank Bay Point Golf for the Auburn update, and we'll get it in here in a little bit. Talk a little bit about their 8A game when we get back. But if you love golf, get out to Bay Point. Also, don't forget about Rudy's Barbecue on Back Beach Road. 350-seat, brand new facility. Is incredible. The food's amazing. Brian and I love it. We always get the turkey sandwich. Everybody else loves that barbecue. Mm-hmm. I love that turkey. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Love it. It's my favorite.
Talking tough, trash, in your face. They get right up next to each other, right to nose to nose. Now you got my attention. It's a spectacle. I get it. What did we learn about some of these teams and players, and who are you all in on? We will be broadcasting from the Man Cave in New York City, Major League Baseball, and the world of sports. Plus a few surprises that you've come to expect. That's coming up right here.
9 to 11 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Let your spring adventure begin at Bill Byrne Kia. Stop by today to discover why everyone is talking about the award-winning Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 48 months on the purchase of a 2022 Kia Forte, K5, Soul, or Sorrento. Bill Byrne Kia is not only the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, they're the home of the best customer experience anywhere. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillByrdKia.com. We make buying a car easy, and you'll enjoy the way we do business.
Offer from KMF for the purchase of a new 2022 Forte, K5, Soul, and Sorrento with $21.65 per month per 1,000 financed at 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Byrne Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 5/2/22.
At Slim Chickens, craft means something. Craft means bacon. And oh, so crispy. Craft means a good cayenne kick and all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken. All served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, craft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Craft sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is designed specifically for sports fanatics like you. The sports content you demand is always on. Live stream our national and local sports talk anywhere you go. Reach us on all social media. You can also be a part of the show. Call and text into our studios. Plus, up-to-the-minute weather and traffic maps. The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is available at the Apple Store and Google Play.
I'd like to introduce.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show.
Milk was a bad choice.
If I could just have your attention.
60% of the time, it works every time.
If anyone wants to switch jobs, let me know.
Live from the J. Michael Studio.
I have many leather-bound books.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Dr. Chad Mitchell. Brian's with us this morning. And I hope Mark Brown and Kay Brown were listening this morning. Two wonderful men. Big Mosley supporters, great people here from Bay County. I think almost all of his kids played some kind of sports. Got a beautiful daughter also. Hey, I want to get back to Auburn real quick. Harsin, I thought, handled everything pretty well. Of course, what else are you going to do? It's like he looked unfazed, but all the stuff's been said and everything that's going on during interviews and things like that. Auburn, we talked about earlier, they've got to go get some transfers in here. They've got to get some defensive linemen. You can't lose 8 defensive linemen and be a very good defensive football team. But I want to go back and talk about the 8A MVP Bobby Ashford. He was the MVP performance. He is a winner. He played high school football at Hoover High School. To play that, you got to be a really good football player, a really good leader, outstanding coach they had there, outstanding coaching staff, and everybody knows about Hoover High School. It's unbelievable. You're pretty good if you start there at any position. He's very athletic. He can dual threat quarterback, can run and throw. Everything I've heard about the young man when he was playing at Hoover's been outstanding. I got to watch him play in Birmingham. A really, really good high school football player. Now, he will be a third-year freshman. How do you do that? I have no idea. I guess the COVID year, whatever. Mm-hmm. Didn't play any at Oregon. He's come over here at Auburn, and what does he do his first spring practice? I told you all, guys, keep an eye on him. He was 12 of 16 for 132 yards in passing. And, Chad, he was going against the first defense.
Right.
The number
TJ
one
Finley
defense.
was going against
Number
the
two.
second team defense. That's exactly right.
Yes, sir. TJ Finley was amazing. Said Ashford is amazing. He has some good things to say about him after the scrimmage. He works hard. He's a hard worker, good guy. He worked with the second team offense almost the entire spring. Of course, we know the kid from A&M's got injured. You got some issues with that.
Yeah,
you got
Calzada.
You got a true freshman coming in. But he is 6'3", 212. He showcased his strong arm. He's accurate with the football. He had 3 passes for at least 20 yards, which is good. His first series, he was 5 of 6 for 47 yards. That's all in the first half. In the first half. After halftime, he comes out on the first drive. He was 6 of 7 for 80 yards. Kids, let me tell you something. If I'm out recruiting a player, and I heard Bear Bryant say this a long time ago, he likes getting kids off state championship teams. You got to have a certain ability, but you want to win a championship, you got to be a special type person.
Yeah.
A champion knows how to work. He knows how to handle himself. They do a good job on the field, off the field, in the classroom. This young man, I don't know too much about TJ Friendly in high school. I know he still sits in the pocket. It looks like he's kind of stiff back there. I just know this kid from Hoover has got the whole package. He is a winner. Wherever he's been, they have won. And that's big. I just think it's a big deal. Finley was LSU, transfers to Auburn. Now, Ashford went out to Oregon. He transfers into Auburn. I would, if it was me, just me, after watching him Finley play last year, and he has improved. I will give him credit. He has improved. He's doing a lot better. He knows the system better right now. But it will not shock me at all if Ashford is not the starting quarterback by the first or second game of the year at Auburn. I could be wrong, but that's just what I kind of
Calzada's going to be back.
It just depends on how. Yeah, I'm just not. Yeah. He had one great game against Alabama.
But he had a great game against
Alabama.
It just shows he's capable.
Very inconsistent. So we'll see. Now, Auburn did get a second commitment of the 2023 class, 4-star safety. Last name is Terrence Love. He's from Langston Hughes High School in Georgia. Committed to Auburn on Sunday. Now, this is a big, good-looking kid now. 6'3", 195, 182 player in the nation. 16th best safety in the country. 17th best player of the state of Georgia. He chose Auburn over Florida and Tennessee with those two schools he was really leaning towards, but he picks the Auburn Tigers. You go to a game at Auburn, you go there to visit, you're going to want to go play there. You've talked about it. You've seen the stadium.
Oh, love Auburn.
It's incredible.
Yeah, great place to be a student.
Yeah, fans their fans are crazy. They're loud. They're good. Everything's good about it. They got football players at Auburn. Auburn's got some talent. They just got to get some more players in there.
They do.
They got to go find some ball players.
And
they don't have it right now on the defense side of the line.
Yeah. Well, you say that, and then, I've got some statistics here that
Go ahead.
Don't necessarily counter that, but just kind of give you insight into the problems they're having. So Bixby was 5 carries for 12 yards. Combined team yardage was 65 yards rushing on 29 carries. And so Harsin said the D-line's playing better. But you're right. Do they have the talent there that they had before? They don't. But, okay, is there a problem now with maybe the offensive line that, the running backs couldn't get any traction in that game? Not trying to knock Auburn. This is spring game. This is where you criticize and build up and change and do things, because we want to see Auburn good in the fall. But they've got a problem there somewhere, or they were doing something different. So I don't mean, what are your thoughts about that? I mean, spring games, they don't count.
Let's just face it. They've lost a lot of players jump ship. A lot of players left. Both coordinators are gone. They bring one in. He lasted a month. He was gone. They've had all the negative stuff going on at Auburn. But it is Auburn. Kids will still want to come to Auburn. They lost so much on the defensive side of the line. And I'm going to say this to the kickoff. They've got to go get some ball play. They've got to get at least 3 defensive linemen to come there. They might have some guys. They do. They have a couple guys on the front that can play really well. They got an edge rusher that's really good. They got one defensive lineman that's really good. But you got to have more than that, man. Wooden's good. Hall's good. Derek Hall's good. That's 2 good football players. But wait, it's a long year. You play in the SEC. You got a tough schedule. Auburn's the 3rd toughest schedule in the country. You got to have backups. Your twos have got to play and perform well if you're going to have a chance to have a good winning record. So they have got to go get some more defensive linemen. We all know that. You can't lose 8 off that. Bigsby, he's fine. I'm not even worried about Bigsby. I think the offense I don't think is going to be the problem. I could be wrong. I will say this, Finley, they said he's doing a lot better job checking it down. In the past, he would force things. Now he can read better, and they've changed it up a little bit, the offensive scheme, what they're doing. They're doing multiple formations on offense. They're doing multiple formations on defense. They run a 3-4, 4-3, doing a lot of stuff like Bama does, a lot of different looks on the defense side of the ball, which is good, but you got to be able to execute what you're doing, and you can't do it if you ain't got guys that can play in the SEC. They got to get some big physical guys up front for depth, if anything else, just for depth. But offensively, they're making it easier for the quarterback where they get 1 or 2 reads, get the ball out of their hands quickly, which is a good thing. But if they know if they got the best running back in the country, if they can run the football, it's going to take pressure off the quarterback. They can do play-action passes. But I do like the one thing, they're running multiple offensive sets, making the defense adjust to different things, which is good, smart. He did say they're going to make things simple, and he's talking about the quarterback reads are a lot simpler than they were last year. What they are, I don't even know. But I like what he's saying. They said Finley's doing better, which is good, because he was so up and down last year. But, Chad, you got to have 2 deep across the board to play in the SEC.
Especially with this schedule, I'm looking at it. They got Penn State the 3rd week.
Yeah.
And then the 5th week,
you got Georgia.
You got LSU, Georgia, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Western Kentucky, and Alabama. I'm going to tell you that's a tough schedule, and you better have some depth because we all know there's going to be injuries throughout the season. You don't know who's going down. But Auburn does have one of the toughest schedules of the SEC coming up next year. And so they really need to get aggressive with this portal, especially after the spring. Hopefully some players will enter from some other schools that Auburn can take advantage of.
Yeah. The bottom line, the offensive line's got to be better than it was last year. And it should be. Receivers, we don't know who the receiver is going to be yet. They need a big-time receiver. I think they got to get a receiver to come in here. Running backs are great. Quarterbacks, I think they're going to be fine there. And inside linebackers, Papo, when they all healthy, I think they're good there. I think the secondary is going to be pretty good. It's just up front of the defensive line. And if they get that going, if they can get a bunch of guys coming there that can play, and they know, these coaches know that, and they know where they're looking to go get. Heck, Georgia just lost 2 5-star offensive linemen off their national championship team just out of the blue. I think that caught them a little surprise there. They got a new offensive line coach. Maybe those guys didn't gel. Alabama needs another tackle. Alabama's been courting the guy from Vandy. Maybe now they look at the 2 guys from Georgia. Who knows? But Auburn's got to get out there and get some kids to come in there that can play now. When you ain't got the players, you better go get them quick.
That's right.
This is one good thing about the portable.
Yeah.
They can do it, and it's legal to do this.
Yeah.
So how well can he get kids to come in there and help them up front on the defense side of the ball? If they do that, they could surprise people. But you know what? Really, everybody expects him to lose and him get fired. That's what everybody expects to happen.
I hope he pulls this off somehow.
I do too.
I really do.
Ron, am I wrong? Does everybody just think Auburn's dead and gone?
I think everybody has a feeling that regardless of what happens, that the line has been crossed with Harsin. Now, we saw a somewhat similar situation with Tuberville. Didn't get nearly as personal, but it was further along the line of replacing him.
Yeah, and Tuberville was a winner
now,
for a while.
Tuberville came out and went, undefeated the next year or something. And
great, yeah.
But I don't think those people ever changed their mind. And as soon as Tuberville slipped a little again, I think that was part of the impetus in getting rid of him. So I think it's probably a fait accompli at this point that Harsin will be moved on, but maybe he'll be successful and then he'll decide to move on himself. So.
Yeah, and I will say this again, Auburn is an elite job. I'm telling you, if they ever get, maybe he's the right guy, maybe things fall into place and everything's better, and they leave him alone and he gets this thing built up. But they get the right guy in there. You got to be a special person to be the head coach at Alabama and at Auburn. You got to have thick skin. You got to take charge. Really, if you don't take control and take charge, they'll run over you at both schools.
That's true.
And Pat Dye was the kind of guy that went in and took charge. Saban came in here and did some things I didn't think anybody could do. But you got to remember, they wanted him bad. Nobody would take the job at the time. And he got the contract he needed. He went in there and took over at Alabama, and look what's happened. If maybe Harsin is the right guy. But it is an elite job. It is a great job.
He has an uphill battle. I'm not envious of that, but if he can pull this off and get Auburn back on track,
it's going to be tough, man.
It's going to be amazing if he's able to do that.
The problem is it's not about Harsin, unfortunately. What we saw, that was the fallout of a power struggle between a couple of boosters and the athletic department. And I don't think it really had anything to do with Harsin other than their drop-off at the end of the season provided them an opportunity. You know, usually a guy's first year, he comes in, okay, things don't go exactly like we hope.
The first year's
you get one shot to fix it. So he's got new coordinators in. Here's his shot to fix it. If it doesn't get better, fine. This has very little to do with Harsin and more to do with that power struggle.
The bottom line is they could have been easily 7-1. They should have beat Penn State.
Listen, they looked so good against Ole Miss, which I was predicting Ole Miss might beat Auburn, and I go to that game, and I mean the game plan he had set for that. I mean, it was awesome. I love watching every aspect of it. So, I mean, Harsin's definitely a coach
they very easily could have been a 9-3, 10-3 team last year. It just didn't play out. And you're right, that opened the floodgates for the guys that didn't want him there. They wanted Kevin Steele. The money guys wanted Kevin Steele. Now they've got their president in there, so we'll see how it plays out in the future. So hopefully good things will happen. But don't ever think Auburn's not a good job. It is an elite job, I'm telling you. I'd take it in a heartbeat. All right, we get back. We'll finally get into FSU. Brian's got some stuff on them. Let's talk about some of our great people real quick. Bay Point Golf, again, they do the Auburn update. Appreciate everything there. Don't forget about Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, Max Fit Sports Nutrition, Dr. Ward, 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. Does that look right, feel right? You're listening right now? Dr. Ward's the guy you got to go to. All right, we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN.
Good Monday morning. Mostly sunny today. A nice day with temperatures in the mid-70s, south wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and the water temperature in the Gulf is 70. Partly to mostly cloudy in the low 60s overnight, light south winds. Light south breeze is Tuesday, mostly sunny, around 78. Mostly cloudy Wednesday. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Offord Tire and Service Center in Callaway. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is the Panhandle's destination for the Atlanta Braves.
Got him swinging strike three.
Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Braves are back.
Unbelievable.
And hungry for more. Listen to the world champion Atlanta Braves on a world champion radio station.
Rosario knocked the living daylights out of it.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Since 1989, Best Way Portable Buildings has been serving this area. It's one thing to rent storage space for a month or two, but long-term rentals can cost more than $100 a month, more than $1,200 a year, more than $6,000 for 5 years. Why not move your storage to your yard in your very own site-built Best Way Portable Building? Financing is available with approved credit. Best Way Portable Buildings, Highway 231, just down from Hart's Marine. On the internet at bestwayportablebuildings.com.
Barbaritos has been committed to serving farm fresh food since 2000. Barbaritos food is made with love, straight from the heart. Every morning they begin preparing food from scratch, from chopping fresh tomatoes for sauces to mashing fresh avocados for guacamole. Barbaritos cares about food.
For a limited time between the hours of 6 and 9 p.m., you'll get a free small creamy cheese dip with the purchase of an entree and a drink.
That's Barbaritos on 23rd Street near Hobby Lobby.
Barbaritos. We make it fresh. You make it yours.
Broadcasting live from the Redneck Riviera. It's the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. FSU updates brought by all the great newbies on Panama City Beach. I tell you what, newbies still on the curve to watch all sporting events, Atlanta Braves, you name it, anything, NBA, whatever you want to do, they got it right there. It's been remodeled. It's beautiful there. John and Charlotte do so many great things for the Panama City Beach. Go out and support them. The mothership now has got foods. There's no reason to leave. In the past, people would go get some food and come back. Now you don't have to leave. You'll be there all day, all night. All right, what do you got for us, Ryan? FSU.
Well, before we get into the spring game, we do need to address something because there are some rumors going around this area that Bill Allen was seen this morning leaving town with several house for sale signs and headed towards Tallahassee. We can neither confirm nor deny that, but unfortunately,
he ain't happy. I know that.
The baseball team dropped another series on the road to Georgia Tech. They're terrible on Sunday this year and lost 10-0 to lose a series. They did win Saturday and lost Friday, but that drops FSU now to 18-13 on the season, 7-8 on the conference. They get the Florida Gators tomorrow, and then they've got Louisville coming into Tallahassee for a big ACC series there. So,
Florida's pretty hot right now.
Yeah, Florida State not having a good run of it in baseball. Hopefully they can right the ship with Louisville, who, if you're Louisville, you just hope not to have a bomb threat at your baseball game like they did up there.
Can you believe
that? That was crazy.
Who were they playing? Louisville's playing who?
Oh, I can't remember now that you asked me. But yeah, they had a bomb threat called into the stadium.
That's the first time I've seen that in college.
I don't know. Maybe Bill will call one in this weekend. I don't know. But yeah, FSU, they're going to have to right the ship here in baseball, but hopefully they'll do so. Let's get into the spring game. A couple of things to go over first. Now, obviously, it's a great weekend to see where the team is, but also it's a big weekend for recruits. And there were a lot of big-time recruits that were on campus, just to name a few of them. Five-star 2024 running back Cam Davis. Now, he's an FSU commit, and we've been over what
I think that's when Bama's trying to flip him, too.
Yeah, so I'm sure everybody's still talking to him. A couple more five-stars. 2024 defensive back Desmond Ricks. 2024 quarterback Jaden Davis. And then a bunch of four-star guys. And, again, I'm just naming a few of them. They had a lot of people on campus. 2024 wide receiver Mario Craver. Defensive lineman Kavian Henderson. Defensive back C.J. Hurd. Defensive back Maurice Williams. They're in on a lot of the top defensive back prospects in the 2024 class. So that'll be interesting. And quite frankly, that was one of the groups that showed out pretty well in the spring game was the defensive backs. But before we get into that, just one thing. They did honor Gene Deckeroff at the spring game, and Coach Norvell talked a little bit about his relationship with him and how he'll be missed and all. And Gene says, I'm not going to be a stranger. I'm just not going to be working as much. So, but it was a nice thing there, and he certainly has meant a lot.
That's going to be weird not hearing him call
It will
a game.
be. It will be.
How many years was it?
I'm not sure, but I mean, quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
So I obviously didn't get to watch the game because I was enamored with the golf over the weekend, but I've kind of followed up on a bunch of stuff. And some of the top performers, as per Knowles 24/7, they talked a lot about Oregon transfer Trey Benson, the running back. He had a terrible knee injury while he was out at Oregon, but he really impressed. 7 carries for 77 yards in the first quarter. Wow. And he looked really good. He was patient, waiting for the hole to open and then hitting with a lot of speed and a lot of power. So they really liked the way he looked. Defensive lineman Jared Verse, the transfer in from Albany, had 2 sacks of quarterback pressure. He blocked a field goal, though once the rules of the NCAA season kick in, you can't hurdle those linemen and get to it. But it showed some athleticism, that's for sure. He looked good. A lot of athleticism, a lot of speed. There are a few technical deficiencies they're going to work on, which you would expect from a guy maybe playing at a smaller school. But overall, he looked really good. Another transfer that they were impressed with, Micah Pittman. Now, his stat line wasn't crazy. He had 4 catches for 25 yards. He did have a 4-yard TD run. He was doing a lot on their 2-point conversion drills that they were doing, and actually dinged up his shoulder a little bit. They got him kind of right as he came back in, but man, did he play with some intensity. I mean, there are football players, and there are football players who like getting hit, and he looks to be one of those. I mean, he's playing with some intensity out there. Overall, the offense, the run game looked really good. Some of that may have been the defensive scheme. They were playing a lot of cover 2, so a lot of man out on the edges and whatever. But run game looked good. All the running backs showed a lot of patience, a lot of poise. That was good. Defense, the secondary looked excellent. They really were shutting down things on the edges, made a lot of big plays, a lot of pass breakups. Some of that, again, maybe was what they were doing. But when you're putting those corners on man coverage and asking a lot of them, they actually showed out. Some of the wide receivers and tight ends were credited with 4 drops out of 14 completions. That's not good.
Yeah.
So there were some drops there, but some of that could have been, some good coverage. Quarterbacks, obviously this is the big worry, and they were only 2 of 10 on 3rd down. That's not good. Now, Jordan Travis was 2 of 5. A.J. Duffy, 0 of 4, and Tate Rodemaker was 0 for 1, got sacked on his
I think it's Travis is the guy, right?
I think he's got to be coming out of this. If you're A.J. Duffy, you would have had to look unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, we've still got the summer, but, I think coming out of this game, it's absolutely Travis to go. Some of the other takeaways, we talked about the running back patience. Tight ends, while they didn't put up a whole lot of catches, really showed out in blocking, which is good because that offensive line is going to need some help, but they really look good there. The athleticism of the whole defensive ends, which is good versus a little more interior, but the edge guys really showed out. There was some improvement at linebacker. We talked about the good work in the defensive secondary. So I think overall, there were a lot of positives. I still think Norvell is pleased that they're starting to play the way he wants them to play and stuff like that. They're just not, you can tell looking at this, they're not ready to be great just yet. But I do think this is a team that is bought in. I didn't see a whole lot of what we've seen the last couple of years where maybe some guys out there for themselves or some infighting, people who were worried about their NIL are gone, stuff like that. So I think it's the nucleus of a good foundation to build on this summer and into the fall. Now, whether they're going to be ready right away remains to be seen. They're not sharp yet.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch any of it. I don't get the ACC network, and I didn't get. And actually, like I said earlier, I forgot about some of these ball games. To be honest with you, somehow, some way. The only one I saw any of were Clemson. Clemson's going to be good, I think, next year. The quarterback looks better. But I do think FSU's going to be a lot better. Chad, it's year 3. It's time to do something.
It is. I think they got the right schedule. I'm looking at it right now. They got LSU week 2.
Got to get that. They got to win.
Then they get into the ACC schedule, and a lot of these teams they're capable of beating, and if they're able to do it, and they got Clemson October 15th. And then Miami November 5th and Florida on the 25th. But, I think they got a schedule to improve. And sometimes the schedule helps you. If you can get players in and get them bought in and, teams you should beat, you start beating, and start working it up and have your team good at the end of the season, which is what we all hope for, right? Right. We root for our teams. I think they got a good case. There's a good case to make with their schedule.
If they can beat LSU, it's going to be really
if they can beat
good.
LSU week 2, boy, that's going to tell us something.
More or less
about
a
FSU.
home game. It's supposed to be split. There'll be a lot of FSU fans there, but it's still, it's LSU.
Supposed to be a neutral location.
Yeah. So they got to win that one. Bottom line, they've got to win that football game. I think if they win that game, they can do something. They lose it, then I don't know. Who knows? You got to get the kids believing sooner or later, and it's year 3. It's time to get it done. Mm-hmm. I've got today. I meant to go over today. I'll probably have to do it tomorrow. We got the top 10 traditions in all of college football. That was pretty good. Some I agree with, I don't. We also have the biggest upsets. They already got the experts. We can maybe bet on them now and win some money if we're right. The biggest upsets
How much you paying me?
of 2022.
Hey, I'll be over in Mississippi midweek.
I might give you a call.
There
say,
you go.
Go ahead
Let me
and
know.
bet this thing. And make
Yeah,
sure
but
you
you'll
don't
want
lose
me to
that
bet
ticket.
with my money, not yours.
Well, hey, that's the best way to do it. Now, we do have this. The April's new preseason poll is out. This is the latest one. There'll be another one this summer after all the spring games. How much time we got? 30 seconds. We don't have time to do it. We'll save it for tomorrow.
And remember, the draft's only a couple of weeks away.
Close. SEC will dominate that again also. Chad, best way to get up with you?
Call Southern Orthopedic Specialists at 785-4344 or go to www.chadmitchellmd.com.
And we'll see you Monday, right?
Absolutely.
Can't wait, man. All right. Underdogs this afternoon, 4 to 6. Fine Bombs on from 6 to 10. And we will see you guys tomorrow. We got Andy Burcham, 8:15. All you need to know about the Auburn Tigers, Auburn baseball, football, you name it, Auburn Day. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Greeny.
This is the danger of the year-long retirement celebration. If the season had just ended and he had said, I'm retiring, and then changed his mind because of other circumstances, that's one thing. But when we had an entire year of saying goodbye to you, you cannot say, you know what, on second thought, I've changed my mind. I don't see him doing it.
Weekday afternoons from 2 till 4. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby. The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey cheesy crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously, but as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, he has over 30 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within 2 business days, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into new settings and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 45 years.
Atlanta Braves play here. WGSX Lynn 8 and WTOT W271DM Mariana. Powered by Pepsi. ESPN Northwest Florida. ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
Atlanta Braves back in action tonight, kicking off a 3-game series versus the Nationals. Coverage starts at 5:05. First pitch, 6:20, right here on your home for the Atlanta Braves, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Now, the Dan Patrick Show.
The Dan Patrick Show, available anywhere you are, any way you want it.
Dan Patrick.
Welcome to the Dan Patrick Show. John Smoltz, Hall of Famer, bringing you the biggest guests and best interviews.
We moving closer to automated strike zone, John?
Dan, I'm fearful we are, but I'm gonna put a little caveat in there that if it comes into the game, they better be prepared to lower the strike zone. If you pitch at the top of the strike zone with an automatic strike zone, the hitters have no chance. But my fear would be everyone would think that would give the hitter an advantage because the strike zone would get smaller for the pitchers. In reality, it would be the opposite. The pitchers are going to realize if I can throw the ball at the top of the strike zone with velocity and they're getting that call, it's over.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave.
You hate technology.
I really do.
This is Dan Patrick.
Hour 2 on this Monday. Dan and the Dan Patrick Show. Come on in, stay a while. The great Mike Tirico will join us coming up. He had play-by-play duties on radio for Augusta, the Masters. He'll join us coming up. And, it's no fault of Scotty Scheffler's, but we got ready for Tiger. We got ready for Tiger over the weekend because we thought, all right, after day 1, all right, he made the cut. Day 2, Tiger over the weekend. Now, all of a sudden, that's when we start to see this story unfold. Tiger is going to be there on Sunday afternoon, the back 9. Didn't work out that way, obviously. And Scotty Scheffler, I think it was kind of emblematic of what has happened so far in his career. You kind of wake up one day and you go, wait, how did he become the number 1 player in the world? Wait, he won a tournament on Super Bowl Sunday? Yeah. He won a match play event. Yeah, he won that. He won the Arnold Palmer. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you go, wow, he's won 4 times in the last 57 days. And all of a sudden it's like he's 25 years of age. Now, we've been fooled before where we go, oh, here's the future of golf here. Go down the list. Could be Jason Day. Could be Rory. Could be Jordan Spieth. Justin Thomas. Dustin Johnson. I mean, we've been teased before. But what we saw with Scotty Scheffler yesterday was a wonderful, wonderful tournament from start to finish for him. And I think he didn't really face that pressure until the back 9 because everybody else was sort of waiting for the stories to unfold. Meanwhile, Scotty Scheffler wasn't going away, and you're like, oh, Cam Smith, man, I love the mullet. Here he goes. Rory, here he comes. Okay. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, everybody kind of fell to the wayside, and Scheffler ends up winning the green jacket. But pretty amazing run over 57 days, what he's been able to do. And I first saw him when he played in college, played at Texas, and I would watch the, when they would have the college championships. And I remember Texas had an unbelievable team. That's the first time I remember seeing him. But he had a great junior career, one of the great junior golfers of all time. But here he is at age 25 and showed resiliency. That's one of those where it's going to hit him and he's going to be emotional. He wasn't, that emotional when he won it, but I think that he was going to eventually sit back and go, I just did this. I just accomplished this. Because in the moment, you don't allow yourself to think, I'm going to win the Masters. You can't, because then you could 4-putt 18 like he did. You just want to make sure, I got to stay in the moment here. And then everybody else around you is reacting. They're going crazy. They're crying. Then it's emotional. You're still in that kind of game mode. And Scotty Scheffler did what you want a great golfer to do. He produced when he needed to. 877-3DP Show. Email address, dp@danpatrick.com. Twitter handle, DP Show. Update the poll results. Seton, and we're going to stay with that hour 2.
Well, Dan, right now, the huge majority of the audience still, for some reason, blaming players when a team loses.
Okay.
I don't get that.
All right.
Head coach still only hovering at about 3% of the vote, so it's a little bit of support for head coaches out there who may or may not be fired in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, Frank Vogel's going to be fired. And you're going to look at this and go,